Greetings, everybody. Holy crap, that was loud. Turn it down a little bit on the let me know if that's too loud in the chat. Not in the chat. In the chat, guys. Mr. Picker, what's up? So, tonight, please let me know if my audio cuts out. Guys, I had a few issues last show where my microphone was cutting out on stream. It was fine in the Discord, so we didn't really pick up on it. But on stream, I went through back to the VOD, and my audio was all over the place. So it kind of made the VOD almost useless. I've still downloaded it, but we can't really upload it to YouTube, which kind of sucks. But we'll deal with it. We'll move on. So tonight, if you have any issues hearing me, let me know, and we can fix that pretty quickly. Short of that, we should be good. Quick announcement before we get started. We have lost another player. Unfortunately, Neon Reptile, who was my friend from the UK, and his character Aslan, he is unable to make it to the show regularly for the next 5 or 6 months, so he's bowed out and allowed us to bring in another player. Mr. Pecker, who's in the chat, will be joining us on the next show. We've just started fleshing out his character. We've got the basics. We've got a basic backstory, and we're going to bring him in on the next show, which will be pretty cool. So he'll be in the chat tonight and hanging out with us, which is awesome. So, but everyone, excellent. Yes, I know. No, I didn't do it on the overlay. I did. Oh shit! I'll fix that.
Sorry.
Thanks, Nutty.
That was meant to be a whisper.
Thanks, Nutty, for pointing that out. But thank you for pointing that out, because I can fix that right now. Which is, I better get that fixed before we start. And the best thing about it is too easy to fix. Boom, just like that.
I didn't even notice.
Me neither, until just now. Yeah, that's Nutty. She loves to pull me up on things because she likes to make me look like shit in front of everybody. But that's just what she does. But anywho, in saying that, as I said, so what you'll notice on the overlay tonight is we have character portraits running on a slideshow. These are the character portraits that I've created for the team and for my own characters. You'll also see a painted Dragonborn portrait that comes through that Het, aka Baz, has done himself. Hand-drawn and hand-painted, by the way, just so you'll know, of our resident Dragonborn bard. Made some slight changes to the overlay as well. We have race class in there. We also have subclasses. So we have our rogue, which is our rogue is a Shadow Dancer subclass, which is a homebrew subclass. We have Circle of the Moon Druid. We have the College of Mythlerin, which is another homebrew subclass, and the Totem Warrior for the Barbarians. So those subclasses are there if you want to look them up. Check them out on D&D Beyond. We use that for all our character sheets. No, I'm not sponsored by them. I wish I was, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's a great site. So if you are want to get into D&D, use D&D Beyond. It's an amazing place. Lots of information. You can access all the source books there. You can sub to them and get a whole lot of information. And they've got awesome things coming as well. So without further ado, we shall do our recap from last show. And now a word about our no sponsor. We don't have any sponsors, so if anyone's listening, please. No, kidding. Anywho, recap from episode 10. After waking at the guild house, you received a note from Gillian stating he was returning home and could not continue travelling with the group. Rather mysterious, but you pretty much accepted that he was heading off to do his own thing and was no longer willing to travel with the group. How you guys felt about that? You've kept it to yourselves thus far, but it is what it is. You then, after receiving, having a small breakfast at the guild house, and then also meeting your latest companion Fiala, another guild member whose party decided not to remain part of the guild, others decided to go off and do their own thing. You invited her to join you in a couple of contracts which you found on the guild notice board. One of those contracts led you to the town of Redfield, which was having some issues with the undead, and you also grabbed a contract featuring a bandit problem, which was also in a similar area on the road between Gatton and the Fells and to the northeast. After deciding to take a bath, you set out on horse towards Gatton. The first day / night went without hindrance. More pranks were played by Namaris, which resulted in which resulted in Alessandro's getting a hot foot and almost getting it burnt off. The next day's travel was pleasant. You stopped to camp. During the night, the camp was attacked by an orc and several large cats. During the fight, Het was rendered unconscious, but the group prevailed with the aid of their new companion Fiala and were returned to our story the morning after. So we go, team. It is now morning time. You have awoken. You have finished a long rest. The night's battle has left you all, even though you feel you have rested and feel reasonably rested, you are still a little bit battle weary. So what are you going to do?
It's just a stretch. How's everyone this morning?
Much better than we were last night. How are you this morning, Het?
Yes, I had some funky dreams. Becoming unconscious nearly to wild cat food definitely does not agree with it.
I
It's
want
sort of-
coffee.
Do we even have coffee?
They can make you some mushroom coffee if you like.
I would imagine you guys have. I would say you guys packed preserves and that for the trip. So you probably got yourself some coffee beans and your rations enough for the trip. And I would say you would have coffee, and you'd spend the time rebuilding your fire and making yourselves a morning breakfast, whether it was beans or mushrooms, whatever you guys decided to eat that day for breakfast.
Are there any chickens around?
Make an investigation check.
While she's looking, it unwraps his bear meat that he's had wrapped for a few days now, and he's sharing that around.
I would say probably not, because that was a 2.
No, there's no. You see no chickens.
Taylor,
Hmm?
would you be kind enough to cast some good berries, please?
Oh, okay. Yes, I will cast Goodberry and pass it around.
Oh, that's right. The good berry.
Het forgot about Goodberry and is eating his bear meat.
So Het munches on his berry. Het has passed the bear meat around. Whether you decided to take or not, completely up to you.
And I was munching on my mushrooms. I was trying to make an omelette, but there aren't any chickens around. I'm sorry.
Chickens are so little and spindly bones.
After their eggs.
Good berry for me, please.
You still haven't told me what your favorite food is.
I don't know.
Whatever it is, that berry sure tastes like it.
Exactly.
I just think it's anything
that berry,
doesn't make her puke.
Alessandra's berry tastes like nothing. Has no taste. has no smell. Because
Whiskey.
Alessandra's has no idea what her favorite food is. So your berry has zero taste. It's completely tasteless, but it's satisfying, and we'll tie you over for a day, equal to a day's rations.
Well, team, I guess, should we get back on the road?
I was just about to say that, actually.
I keep forgetting, without our friend Gillian here, to take lead and head off. I gotta stand around waiting for something to happen and then realize, oh, hang on. We have to take a stand, take a lead now.
I'll just go get the horses.
So Namaris prepares the horses, gives them she's very particular. She brushes the horses down, she talks to them, saddles them. You guys pack up camp, you pack up your tents, you all each take your horses and you set out for the day, heading north towards the township of Gatton. You are currently, I would say, probably 2/3 of a day away from Gatton still, so you still got a little bit of travelling to do.
What time of day is that?
It is probably about 9:30 in the morning. You slept a little bit later than normal, purely because you guys have obviously had a bit of a night, so you didn't get a good rest until later in the evening, so it's a bit later in the day. So we're looking 9:30, 10 a.m. It's a fine day. The sun's high in the sky. A little bit of cloud around, nothing too threatening, but you set out for the day, and you follow the road towards the city of Gatton on the shores of the Lake Gatton. You guys know this area reasonably well. You have travelled this way a few times now. The road is not busy today, but there's a few carts you see as sort of passing by as you go through, some travelling back the other way. You see, as you guys sort of look around, you'll see these other travellers on the road travelling the same direction as you. There's a few soldiers doing their usual patrols of the main road. Nothing out of the ordinary at all.
Do I recognise any of them?
You would recognise that. You would recognise the cloaks of some would be Gatton City Guard. You wouldn't recognise them personally, but you would definitely recognise where they came from. You wouldn't, this far out, probably wouldn't see anyone from Verlond patrolling the road this far out. You've passed that point now. So there'll be more Gatton City Guard that are out patrolling this far.
Alright. I just wave anyway.
And they wave back and friendly enough. I mean, the guard out here are generally, unless someone's showing any signs of aggression, usually pretty friendly. There's nothing. Some city guard, in your opinion, can be a little bit arrogant, but these guys seemed okay, and they gesture back and sort of give you a nod and a wave. So you guys, as you travel on, you're now heading towards sort of lunchtime. You've travelled for a couple of hours. Not much has happened. It's just the usual road traffic. You can now see in the distance, you're just breaking the edge of the forested area of the lower part of the Howling Mountains, and it's just breaking into more open and plain sort of plains, open plains, little bit of hilly stuff, nothing too major, but you can see off in the distance what you would probably assume to be the city of Gatton. Probably, you still reckon about a half day's travel, just judging from where you are.
Can I see any chickens anywhere?
Roll an investigation check.
So from mushrooms to chicken.
13?
What?
13. And you look around and you're sort of watching it. You don't see any chickens anywhere. You spy a few. There might be. They're out in these open fields. You can see off in the distance. There's probably like buffalo type creatures or some kind of bovine type animal off in the distance in a field.
What about a duck?
Pardon?
A duck. Quack quack. Yeah, a duck.
Fuck's sake. You're a duck? What the hell are you looking for ducks for?
It says, Namaris, what are you looking for?
Well, I've heard if you shake a duck or a chicken hard enough, you can get some eggs out of them so you can make
Oh my
omelette.
God.
Oh, I see.
What the hell?
Hit then leans over to Ellie and says, Ellie, barbarian, totem of the chicken.
I make a note to myself: do not change into duck.
Awesome. Yes, you roll. Actually, no, your passive perception, Namaris, you notice that Fiala's looking at you sort of rather nervously, and yeah, she definitely looks like she's taking some mental notes.
I just rock on over to her and put my arm around her and go, "It's all right, love. I'm not gonna hurt you."
Just nod like, oh okay.
So you carry on for the next part of the day. No chickens or ducks in sight. You're now approaching. You've travelled for another hour or two. You're now approaching sort of 2:30, 3 o'clock, and each hour you travel, that city gets closer and closer. The traffic on the road gets a little heavier. There's a little bit more farming traffic around now. You can see that these horses and carts with farming equipment and bags of grain and things like that on board. And
they never pull over to let you pass.
no, they're so slow. You sort of got to wait for a widening of the road, which doesn't happen often. But you are now on your left-hand side. You can now see the edges of Lake Gatton. The road sort of follows the edge of the lake as it heads in towards the city.
So, would there be any ducks on Lake Gatton?
For fuck's sake.
Wow.
Roll an investigation check. Looking for ducks.
That'll be no then.
I like
Just
it.
one.
You rolled a natural one. As Neymaris is preoccupied looking for ducks, she doesn't see that the road veers to the right. As you guys veer around to the right, she starts her horse. She's looking for ducks, so her horse goes straight and sort of steps into almost like a water table. It's like dips off the side of the road. It's muddy and stuff. As the horse dips and sort of slips, Neymaris, can I get you to make a dexterity saving throw for me, please?
18.
18? Holy shit. You're so lucky. As the horse sort of stumbles and sort of dips forward, you feel the weight of the horse moving forward, and you feel yourself being sort of pushed forward on the horse's back and neck, and you grip the reins just in time before you get sort of toppled over the horse's head and down into this smelly, boggy sort of swampland right on the edge of the lake. And you sort of whoa, and sort of back yourself up a little bit and pull the reins on the horse and stop the horse before it goes any further. But your horse is now his front legs of your horse, like knee deep on the horse, and bog. Your horse is not going anywhere. You are stuck.
Right, will I jump off and I'm going to try and lift him out?
Strength check.
Hit reins up. Hit reins up and jumps off his horse as he sees this happening. Assuming he sees it happening.
Yeah, you got roll. Everyone roll a perception check to see if you noticed, because she was sort of sidetracked and off to the back of the group.
13 for hit.
Yeah, you would have noticed out of the corner of your eye that she stopped and sort of was off the track a little bit.
So yeah, I rein up and I drop off and offer her help.
What was that, Alessandros? What was yours?
20.
I can't hear you, dude. You're too quiet. Dirty 20? Yeah, well, if anything over a 10, guys, you would have noticed.
I'm looking at Neymaris, shaking my head.
That's better. I can hear you. Great.
I just lost a dice off to the bloody lounge floor or something.
And what was your strength check?
Hang on.
Ellie, what do you think
11.
we should do?
11?
15. It's passive.
Pardon?
15's my passive.
You don't have a passive strength check.
Then it was 11.
Yeah, so you guys, as you guys sort of sidle up and sort of realise that she's now, you see that her horse is stuck, and she's there trying to pull the horse back, and a couple of minutes, and you cannot budge your horse. He's pretty well stuck.
What do we do?
Can
Ellie got ideas?
Can we use the other horses to pull the horse up?
Yes, if you've got rope, you certainly can try.
It's a good idea. Guess we can use the 3 horses we have left. Tie, I guess, 3 ropes to one horse. And drag it out.
You could do. Who's tying the ropes?
Hit will begin tying.
Make a survival check for me to see how good your knots are.
Say that again, sorry I didn't hear.
Survival check, just to see how good your knots are.
Sweet as. That is good. 21.
21. Yeah, you've tied a few knots before. I mean, you've again with your family, with your dad being an adventurer as well. He's showed you a few things here and there. So you get in, you tie some pretty good knots, loop the ropes around the horses' necks, and you then tie the ropes together under the belly of Maris's horse, and almost like a harness type thing. So you're pretty experienced in that. So you have no problems with that. So what I'll do is, how are we going to do this? Roll a d20 and add 5 to it for me. Hit.
22.
22.
High rolling.
So what? You get all the horses together, you hold all the reins, unless you're going to be mounted on them. So you guys are going to use mounted horses, or you're going to use them static and be on the ground?
Probably off the ground, maybe. What do you think, team?
I agree with that.
So unmounted?
Yeah.
Lead them unmounted.
Yep. So you grab all 3 reins of the horses, and you lead them. So get up, horses, come on, and you sort of pull them, and after a couple of minutes, and a bit of guiding from the Maris as well, her horse slowly, you can hear that sort of popping sound as its legs sort of pop out of the swamp and out of the muddy watery, that real thick mud and water and stagnant shit that's right at the edge of the lakes. It's pretty boggy and pretty gross. But yeah, after a few minutes, you manage to free her horse and it sticks out, and the horse stinks. It's dirty. It's not very nice smelling stuff, but you managed to free the horse. All up, this whole exercise probably took you about 45 minutes to an hour by the time you'd sort of discussed it and figured out what you were doing. So by now you're looking around 3:30 in the afternoon. Looking at how far you've got to go, you've probably got maybe another hour before you get to the city limits.
I don't think I'll be looking for any more duck. Chickens, I'll stick to chickens.
Are you good in the Maris? How's that horse getting? You might want to give her a lick down.
A lick down? I was giving
Well,
her
you know-
a rub down with some water, if that's alright.
Lick down.
I was thinking like a mother dog or a mother cat, my bad.
Oh my.
A lick down, I love it.
Hit gets back on his horse and says, well, team, are we good to go? Shall we carry back into this town? No, Maris, no more chicken watching.
Or duck.
Okay, thinking, what?
So, what are you going to carry on? You're going to give your horse a bit of a wash?
Yeah, I've done that already.
Okay, so
Finishing that.
as you guys, it takes another 10 or 15 minutes, and Maris washes off her poor little pony. Well, big pony, because she's a big lady. And just washes the worst of it off, so it gets the most foul smelling and mud and goop and that off the horse. About 15-20 minutes, and then you're back on the road again. You're not in any kind of rush. There's no rush to complete this task that you've headed out towards, and you've got a couple in this area, so you can take your time. And as you're heading towards the city of Gatton, you notice as you get closer that the city gates are closed. They're not open like most cities. But at this time of day, the gates would be opening, allowing sort of anyone free passage in and out of the city. And there are 4 or 5, maybe 6 guards posted at the city gates as you approach.
Knock on the gate and say, hello there, can we come in?
Yes, shall we ride up and ask the guards maybe why the gates are closed at this time of day?
Sure.
Yeah, as you guys approach, one of the guards it looks like he's probably a higher rank. He's wearing a slightly different garb to the rest of them, but they're all fairly well similarly dressed. And he sort of steps forward, and he's got a shield and a spear, and it says, "Halt! We cannot let you in at this time. We're just stop, wait." And he sort of steps out in the middle of the road with his shield and spear, like sort of halt thing. Wait up! What's sort of you can't go any further.
Hit reins up and drops off his horse and meets the guard with his hand extended to shake hands.
And the guard instantly, shield up, spear forward. You get the impression he's never seen a dragonborn before. It's like, halt! Don't come any further.
Oh, it's okay.
What is your business here?
I come up by head and say it's okay. He's with us and he's fine.
Hit steps back a bit.
Then I flash my city guard garb. City guard.
Are you Valon City Guard? Where's no one else is wearing your colours? Is it just you or the whole group? He looks really scared. Like he's not scared of you, but he looks like he's definitely there's something going on. He's not. This is something you wouldn't normally see from a city guardsman, especially this hour of the day.
I just kind of go up to him and say, "Look, we're just from the Adventurers Guild. Yes, I was city guard, and hi, I'm Neymaris. You may have heard of me from Valand. We're part of the Adventurers Guild, and we've just come to do a couple of quests that we've looked at."
The Adventurers Guild, you say?
Yes, that's right.
Can you prove it? Have you got
We've all got the tattoo.
And do you show him your tattoos?
Do indeed.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm a little bit on edge. You see, we've been having some problems here in Garten. People have been going missing, and we've been ordered to stop everyone at the gate and inspect them. It's been a rough time. I've had no sleep. I'm so tired, and you can see he's got bags under his eyes. Even the rest of the guard are much the same. That is so really just tired looking and nervous, visibly shaken. Like they've definitely been through some stuff over the past week, maybe. Essentially, we're not supposed to let everyone with weapons are supposed to stay at the gate. But if you're Adventurers Guild, we need to do something. I mean, you could go visit the headmaster, Maglador. He's the headmaster of your guild here, and if you could help us, I mean, he could give you all the information you need. I'm not sure what's happening. He has all the information. I know he has done some investigations, but I fear there's no other guild members in the city right now, and we need some help. I mean, if you could help us, it would save us so much problems. And you can see he's almost pleading, like he's really pleading with you guys to stay and help, because he doesn't want to go out and investigate again for another night. You can see he's really scared.
I go and elbow Het in the side, and I'm like, "I reckon we should. What do you reckon?" And I'm looking at Ali going, "Come on, shall we do this?" And Fiala, yeah, I reckon you'd be able to help us too.
Yes. What do you think, team? I think it's a great idea. Help is what we do.
I pull out a coin and flip it.
Flip it where?
I catch it midair. I try.
Flip
Is it heads or tails?
Roll a d6. 1 to 3. It's 1 to 3.
I got 2.
2. Tails.
Yeah, all right, we'll go.
I look at. I'm just about getting ready to throw her over my shoulder anyway. You're coming with us anyway, mate.
Will one of your magic berries help the guards feel better?
What?
Just wondering if one of your magic berries might help these guards feel better.
Yes, I pass the guard a berry and say, "This might calm you down."
And he sort of he looks at you and goes, "What's that? I've never seen one of those before."
I get that a lot. Yeah, just try it.
Okay, so he gingerly takes the berry from your hand and sort of sniffs it, looks at it, sort of pops it in his mouth, and then you see his eyes sort of go, ooh, that tastes really good. And he almost instantly looks like he feels better, and he sort of stands a bit more upright. And he turns to you guys, he says, oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So, yeah, head into town, head to... my memory is just not what it used to be. Head to, when I remember where it is. Go search my notes.
Careful now. You might.
Highball. You need to go to Highball Farthing in the city. That's where the Adventurers Guild. That's where all the guild houses are. To be honest, the Bard House, the Arcanist Paradym, and of course the Black Lion. So Highball Farthing, and ask for Maglador. He's the headmaster of your guild. The guild house has stood empty for some time now. The last lot of guild members we had come through the city was a few weeks ago. They were heading to Redfield, and unfortunately none have returned. So we're not entirely sure what happened with them. We haven't had the time or the numbers to investigate that, because we've been dealing with this problem. So hopefully something can be done. But thank you for offering to stay. And he goes, oi, hey, open the gates. And as he sort of raises his hand and that, you turn around and the gates open inwards. And all the guards, as you sort of enter the city, they're all watching you. They're still watching you waringly, just to make sure that you are who you say you are. And they are all visibly worried. They're nervous. They look tired. There's definitely something not nice happening in this city.
Hit waves to the guards that look the most scared.
And that big wide toothy grin. They look terrified. Like one of them, literally, you can see he's physically shaking as you sort of walk past and give him that real toothy grin.
Hey, you
could almost hear the shield and spear sort of rattling as you go past.
Hey, you should really not smile around here, mate.
Guys, I was trying to give him a wink to let them know we were just going to do their job for them, but it's okay.
So, you head into Gatton proper.
We sure do. We head into there proper, alright.
I'm going to hide a little bit behind Het and Damaris because we're entering the city.
Yeah. So you're entering through the main gates, which I don't know if you guys can see the stream there, is on the left-hand side. You enter straight into a market area. So the market area is quite large. It basically takes up the whole sort of entrance to the city. So as you sort of come through, you come through the market, you end up in Canal Farthing. You ask as you sort of go through, you ask where the guild is. You stop and ask a few people. The guard sort of gave you an idea, but you didn't sort of navigate through. It'll take you about 45 minutes to reach Highbell Farthing and reach the guild house. The Highbell Farthing area looks like it's more of a upmarket area. Looks better and bigger housing, but you notice obviously guild houses are the biggest houses in this area. They sort of sit out from everybody else. Each has their own guild colours. The guild insignia of the Black Lion hangs high above double doors on this big 2-storied building. And as you approach, you've got a hitching sort of post there for the animals. There's a water trough and everything there, so you can hitch your horses there. There is stables in the city as well if you wanted to have them at the stables for the night, but there is somewhere to hitch them at the guild for the time being.
Well, I say to the guys, I might just go and find the stables and take the horses with me, and then at least we know.
Speak up.
Then the boys can look after them for the night, and I'll come back and catch up with you.
Okay, so Damaris is going to take the horses to the stables, which will be back up towards the northern end of the city, where more of the market is.
I want to see if I can find some eggs on the way back.
You can ask around. Roll a what should I roll? Roll investigation check again.
10.
10. I'd say it would take you probably in your travels back from the stables to the stables and then back again and trying to find eggs. It's probably going to take you about an hour, and you do manage to find a half dozen chicken eggs. At a market, there's a market stall. They were selling fresh eggs, and it only had a half dozen left. So you mark down a half dozen, and it would cost you, I don't know, 20 silver. So
No problem.
Mark 20 silver off.
I'm really excited now to run back when I get back to the guild hall, and I'm like, hey, look, we've got eggs.
She's got eggs.
How long would it have taken her to do this? Because if she'd have done that, I probably would have asked the Fiala and Ellie to head into the guild house.
Yeah, so we'll get back to you guys. So yeah, you're gone for an hour, Namaris. So we'll then go back to you guys at the guild house. You were standing outside the guild house. Namaris has just left. She's down taking the horses to the stables.
Ellie,
you got an hour.
Maybe
basically.
people seem to be afraid of me wherever I go. Maybe you and Fiala should do the talking, and I can stand back like a guard or something.
Oh, me talk. Allie? This is...
No, I figured Heck could come in too. He could smile at them all.
I'll definitely come in, but I just thought maybe the way they react to me everywhere I go, I didn't know if it was the best idea.
Dude, you need a hood.
Oh, I can put my hood up. That's not a hassle.
So you put your hood up?
Yes, but I think it's rather rude, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, I would say you have the impression that the guild, as far as the guild is concerned, you're not going to have any hassles with being Dragonborn. Guild members and headmasters and that are pretty well travelled, and they have seen many races. It's just you now understand with your travels from your home area to a place like Voland, you just know that this side of the realm probably doesn't see many Dragonborn.
Okay.
So it's more townfolk and farmers, things like that haven't seen many Dragonborn.
Alright, then I still put my hood up under the advice of my team, and I head in. I ask, well, I knock on the door, I guess, and walk on in and ask the first person I see where I can find Maglador.
So as you walk in, it's empty. There's literally no one there. The layout's very similar to the Voland Guild Hall. So as you walk in the main doors, you have literally to the right hand side is almost like a service area or a reception area with a notice board, and the notice board is very, very empty. There's not much there at all. Does it echo? You notice the same contract that you've currently got, the one for Redfield. There's the one for the bandits there as well, but nothing much else is there. It does echo a little bit. The hall's quite big. You got tables laid out, and then you got stairs heading up the back towards where you would assume the guild rooms are, and then onto the right, on the right hand wall, as you probably about 10 or 15 feet as you go into the room, you notice that there's another door which you assume would be the headmaster's office, because it's very similarly set out to the other guild halls you've been into.
Because of the echo, I stomp on the floor twice just to hear that echo.
And it's pretty good acoustics. You sort of think, well, I reckon I could play here. This would be a pretty cool place to play.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I kind of figured. And as you stomp on the floor twice, that door opens, and a long white-haired elven gentleman, probably about 6'3", 6'4" tall, sort of opens and peers through, and you can see he's got sharp hazel eyes. He's wearing scale mail. He has doesn't have any weaponry on him at the moment, but you get the impression that he would be quite a capable. He looks like a capable fighter. The mail is not new; it's definitely battle worn. And he sort of, as he comes through, is greetings. My name is Maglador. I am the headmaster here in Gatton. And he gives you a half a bow back. How may I assist you?
And Head looks to sort of Fiala and Alexandros and then back to Maglador and says, I am head of the, of the guild, the Black Lion Guild. We've just, and this is Fiala, and he stumbles a bit and he says, and this is Alexandros, and, well, I mean, we're here to help. We both talked to the guard at the gate and he seemed a bit weirded out, so what's the deal? Let us know what we can do to help.
Oh, well, yes, it is true. We are under a siege of sorts. I have no actual confirmation, as I'm not full enough to investigate these happenings alone, from what I've heard. And the city guard is, well, not exactly, well, let's just say, most of farmers and the such have been recruited to watch the city walls. Not many actual trained soldiers among them. But the rumours we have thus far, there has been a mysterious disappearances over the last few nights. Witnesses report seeing a woman, a very attractive woman dressed in white, down on the docks towards the lake. She vanishes not long after her sighting, and normally within hours of that, someone is reported missing. There's also been reports of only at night, yes, in the dusk hours, not like complete darkness, around dusk. There's also been reports of fishmen as well, which, yes, I know sounds a little weird and insane-ish, but also a man dressed in white has been seen around the same area, all around dusk and early hours of the evening. As headmaster here, I'm asking you if you would mind assisting me in completing these investigations, and maybe determining what these creatures are, and if needs be, eliminate the threat. And I will return and give you information you require on any of your quests you're currently on, or any other information you may need.
That sounds alright. Point us in the direction. Where's the best place for us to start our investigation then?
I would definitely head towards the dock ward. That is where most of the sightings have been, in the northern dock ward, through Azurbridge village, which is, if you head northeast of where we are. And he says, do you have a map? If you don't have a map, he pulls out a map of the city and sort of points out there's Zurbridge village is on the inner, sort of, there's another lot of walls on the inner sort of area of the city, and then you can see you've got the northern dock ward, and that's where all the sightings have been sort of focused around the northern dock ward. So by this time of the day, you're looking about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You've probably got about 2 or 3 hours of sunlight left before that sort of dusk hours. So you've got 2 or 3 hours where you could investigate.
Maybe we could find some tracks or something.
Yes, that would be right up probably your alley, wouldn't it, Fiala? That's probably a good thing.
So Namaris isn't with us right now, right?
Not at the moment. No.
Her.
She'll be heading. You've probably now spent maybe, say, 20-25 minutes talking to this guy, and he's again just filling you in on some information. There is an inn close by where you can, if you didn't want to stay at the guild house, there is an inn available for you guys, which the guild is happy to cover any cost of your stay in return for your help, which is the Cinder Hills Inn, which is actually in the Azurbridge area. Canal Farthing, which is the next one over. So which is just outside the main gates heading into Azurbridge, so that will put you a little closer. He explains that the people that are going missing, it's men and women, young and old, and it's only happened in the last sort of 3 or 4 nights.
Okay.
Maybe a week since the sighting started.
All right, thank you, Maglador, for the information. We will head over to the dock ward and we'll let you know of our findings as soon as we can.
Well, thank you for agreeing to assist us in this quest, I shall say, or contract. The guild would be happy to pick up any expenses that you incur. Obviously, you have a place to stay here, or the inn. If you wish to stay at the inn, we'll cover those costs. And any help would be very much appreciated. And I will definitely pass on my sincerest thanks to Riffin at Ballon's guild house, as it's pretty obvious that you guys are not from around here, so I'm assuming you're from Voland. Most of the guild members come from there these days, first to complete quests around these areas. We have a lot of bandits and such, usually.
Correct, we come from Voland. Good guess. Must have been our tattoos that gave it away.
Well, the tattoos are all the same here. You notice he's not, even though he's wearing sort of scale mail armor, as he sort of moves, you can see he's actually wearing a patch with the guild seal on it as well. And being a headmaster, being at the guild house, the seals are all the same.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, yes, well, the dock ward, I say, has two parts. You've got the northern ward and then the southern ward. It's the northern ward where this lady has been seen specifically, and we essentially we're on the lake, and we're a fishing city. Most of our economy is based around fishing, and if we haven't been able to send the boats out in 3 or 4 days, the fishermen are too scared to venture out at night, where we get the bulk of our fish. We have a lot of nocturnal fish in the area. So we are concerned that this could really have a huge impact on the city. And
sorry, did you say fishmen before?
Yes, fishmen. I've never seen a fishman before. I mean, I've been a headmaster here for a number of years, and never seen a fishman. I mean, I've heard of lizard men, but never heard of fishmen.
That's okay. I'm a dragon man. Same old thing. We'll figure it out.
We don't get many Dragonborn here, obviously, but I mean, I've met a few Dragonborn over the years and found them to be quite pleasant, for the most part. Never had too many hassles myself.
Right, we have to meet up with our friend Amaris, who beats the crap out of everything. She's probably the person we're going to need for this. So we'll leave you to it, Maglador.
And he again bows deeply. He goes, and again, thank you very much for agreeing to assist us. If you need any more information, please don't hesitate to ask. I live here as well, so I'm pretty much here all the time. And he sort of bows and turns and heads back to his office.
Rock on, dude.
And pulls his loot out and sort of gives a little as he walks away.
No problem.
Right, we head back outside to meet.
So as you head back outside, you notice Namaris coming back down the road that she left, and she looks really happy and pleased with herself.
Namaris, why are you looking so cheerful?
I've got eggs!
Did you bring a pan?
What?
Uh-oh.
Oh, I love it.
What do I need a pan for?
It's okay, honey. So, we have a lot of news to tell you about fishmen ahead.
It looks fine.
Fishmen. I just look at Het and I'm like, what?
Het regales the same tale
Yep,
that he just had from Maglador, without the extras. We basically
pretty
white
much.
lady, Northern Docks.
Yeah.
Man in
So
white seems
essentially,
to
they
much
fill you
do
in all the details, and yeah, you heard it all. So,
Would I have known about anything like this before? Living in the Potter.
Roll an intelligence check. Actually, no. Make it a history check. Sorry.
It's not much better, but it's 11.
11. You've heard of tales of a white lady. I think most of you would have heard. Actually, everyone roll a history check for me. Just And Fiala, make a history check with disadvantage because you've spent pretty much your whole life in a forest.
3.
Yeah, so you've got no idea. You've never heard about a lady in white. You've never heard about fishmen. You've never heard of about a man in white. You just, this is all really new to you. You're a little nervous about what this could mean or what could be happening, but at the same time you're also fascinated with learning new things. And the thought of fishmen with your abilities to shapeshift, you think, ooh, maybe that might be something I can shapeshift into.
That's exactly what I was thinking, actually.
So, what did you roll, Namaris?
Oh, I rolled an 11.
11. You've probably you kind of remember something about a lady in white. You can't be sure exactly what the story was about, but it seems familiar to you. You've never heard of a fish man, and the man in white doesn't ring any bells either. Hit your history roll.
Hit rolled 6. Hit actually remembers his mum wearing a lot of white.
That's pretty much about it. That's about the only lady in white that you ever remember. So, and yeah, nothing else rings a bell. Alessandros, yours? 8. Yeah, you got no clue either. You've never heard of anything. This is the first time you've ever heard about a lady in white or a man in white or fish people. And you're all a little bit perplexed. You think, Fishman, it's kind of weird. I've never heard of these things before.
I'm just thinking fisherman.
Is someone on drugs or what? Yeah. So, what are you guys up to? What are you going to do?
I want to go to the docks and have a look.
Yeah.
So you know that
It
these
agrees.
sightings have been around dusk or just after dark. You know you've got about 2.5 hours of daylight left.
Drinking first. Drinking food.
Well, you won't want to investigate. You can still investigate during the daytime to get any information.
We don't need it because we've had good berries and that's a good.
That'll last you for the whole day, yeah.
I wanted to try
Correct.
my egg.
So, what are we doing, people? Are we going to an inn? We going to the docks, or what?
We could split up if you want to go to the inn, but Hit definitely wants to go to the docks.
No,
I want to
Right.
go
Sorry.
to the docks. I want to scout the surrounding buildings, see where I can get to and where I can't get to, and all the good
Okay.
stuff.
I would
So-
like to look for tracks.
We'll head to the docks. So you head towards the Azure Bridge, where Maglador gave you the information. You go through another set of gates, another set of guards at this inner gate as well. They don't stop you, but they're definitely watching. They know that they've not seen you before, so they're definitely keeping a close eye on you as you sort of head through to Azure Bridge, which is, again, it's like the upper class area of the city. Much nicer housing here, and head towards the northern dock. Takes you about 40 minutes to get there, and you head into the northern dock, and it's what you'd expect to see in most docks, except it's not an ocean dock. It's not like a huge open sea dock. It's a large lake, so it is still quite a large dock area. And you see there's a couple of large fishing boats docked on the docks, a few smaller vessels. There doesn't appear to be many people around, and which is unusual. You would expect this time of the day the docks would be quite busy. So you don't really see many people at all, which is definitely not the usual for this time of day. But there are still a few people milling around. There is a large blacksmith building to your left as you sort of head towards the main dock area. So a big building that's got a big anvil on a sign out the front, and so you'd automatically assume that would be a blacksmith of sort or a forge. There's another smaller building to the right as you head to the main dock area, and the sign on there just basically just says GC Foxhole fishing vessel.
Did you just say there's a forge there?
There is a forage there.
There's
A forage, yes.
Am I able to just pop in and speak to the blacksmith quickly?
As you approach it, you hear nothing from the forge. There's no smoke. The doors are closed.
Well, that'll be a no then, won't it?
It appears to be closed or abandoned. Not so much abandoned, but it's definitely there's no one there. It doesn't look like there's been someone there for a little while.
Oh, right. Okay.
But on the porch of the other building, you do see a male human sitting on the porch, sort of leaning back in his chair, his feet up on the rails of the porch. He's got brown hair, almost looks like a pirate-style jacket over a simple linen shirt, simple linen pants. Those almost like pirate boots, to the sort of thigh-high black boots with buckles on them, and he has a raven sitting on his left shoulder.
I nudge Het and kind of nod my head over towards them.
No, Namaris. I don't think Raven's eggs are big enough.
Oh no.
I was talking
awesome.
about the guy, not the bloody bird.
Oh wait,
That
I'm
is
sorry.
Do ravens lay eggs?
Well, I
I
assume they
don't-
would
well, I
if they
assume they're a
mate.
bird.
I mean, they're birds. So.
Do all birds lay
We're
eggs?
talking about the guy, right? I'm so sorry. Do humans actually lay eggs? Humans lay eggs.
Oh, fucking hell. Oh,
No,
Jesus.
okay.
Right,
Well,
then.
What you want me to talk to him? Maybe is that what you're saying?
I think we should probably go over there together because
Hang on. He looks like the man of the sea. I'm not really a man of the sea. I'm not really a man. Maybe one of you guys should take this. Maybe you should helm this one.
I got the
Alright.
highest charisma. I'll take this. I got this. Yeah.
Okay.
What is this charisma you speak of?
I don't have it.
Sophia, are you going to approach him?
Yeah, I'm gonna awkwardly give a little gulp and try to approach him and say, hey,
she doesn't know it, but I'm standing right behind her.
He sort of, as you approach, he looks up and he's wearing a tri-point hat. Like, it looks like a pirate. I mean, if you'd ever seen a pirate, he looks like a pirate. None of you guys have probably ever seen a pirate, but that's what he looks like. He looks like a typical pirate. Big bushy beard and tri-point hat and all the works.
Arr!
And he sort of as he lifts his sort of gaze up to meet you, and it's he. Oh yes, what can I help you with?
what are we looking for, guys?
Just some information on the area.
All right. We are here wondering about the sightings at night. Do you happen to know of any particular goings on that are a bit odd by the...
Oh, you'll be talking about the sightings of the White Lady. I know all about it. I haven't been able to take my boat out in 3 nights. Bloody disgrace. Haven't been able to get any fish. Haven't made any money. They won't let me take my boat out. They say it's too dangerous. Bloody woman shows up every night, just before dawn, dusk, whatever it is, nightfall. Nighttime, not daytime. And next thing you know, someone disappears. So they tell me I can't take my boat out.
Do you happen to see them taking people into the water again, or do they just vanish?
Oh, no, we're not allowed out at night. As soon as the sun goes down, we're under strict curfew, locked doors. We're caught outside, you get arrested. So, I hear strange things during the night being so close to the water. They're talking about fish people, and there's supposedly a man in white as well, but normally about sort of 7:30, 8 o'clock, you can hear just the strange noises from the water. It's odd. It's hard to explain, but I tell you, 7 o'clock, 7:30, when it just starts to get dark, best time to see. If you want to see them, you be my guest. But if you want to get arrested, that's up to you.
No, I don't think we'll be arrested. I think we should be right.
I'm asking the pirate dude if it's okay if we spend a few hours in his
And his what?
What?
house.
You cut off. I didn't hear the last bit.
It is. Dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun.
it's in my what?
In your house
Oh,
or boat.
wait. You can use the grounds of my house, fine, but I don't want any strangers in my house. The woman's outside. She's not inside. I don't know who you are, and I'm not letting you strangers in my house.
I wander
Yeah.
over and shake his hand, and I put out my hand, and I'm like, "Hello, I'm named Maris, former Valon City Guard, currently Adventurers Guild, and this is the group that we're traveling with. We're trying to help you."
And he shakes your hand, and like his hands are rough, and like he's definitely seen some work. He's calloused and rough, and he says, "Hey, my name's Captain Walter Hain." And yeah, well, that big one there's my boat, and this is my house, and I'm still not letting you in.
Hit
Would you
wanders
mind if we-
forward. Sorry, and puts his meanest face on, sticks out his hand, and says, "And I'm Hit, and I say, you should let us help you, and let us stay here."
Roll an intimidation check.
Hell yeah. 14.
He leans in, gives you a really stern look back, and goes, "I'm still Walter, and I'm still not letting you in. I've
Well,
seen many Dragonborn in my time, young Dragonborn. Don't think you can scare me, laddie."
I wander over again.
Alright, Damaris, kill him. No, I didn't say that.
At this point, I'm just going to look at him and go, "Have you ever heard of a mushroom omelette?
A what?
It's made with eggs and mushroom.
An omelette, you say?
An omelette."
An omelette. No.
Would you like to try one?
No.
Do you like mushroom?
No.
At this point, I'm going to grab him by the throat and say, "Will you just let us in, please?"
You're going to grab him by the throat?
Yeah.
Strength versus... Yeah, roll a d20. Do a strength check.
12.
Ellie, have you found anything while you've been looking around?
And as you go to reach for his throat, he's quick. He snaps up and grabs your wrist. What
Right, well, I
do
might
you think
start
you're
to-
up to, lassie?
start
I
getting
would
really
think
angry.
twice before you try and intimidate me again.
So I do, and I try again.
You try again?
Wow.
Oh look, dirty 21.
Before you can grab him, he takes half a step backwards and pulls out his scimitar and goes into a defensive stance. And at the top of his lungs, calls out for the city guard.
I yell out, "Please come down." All I wanted to do was have a lookout point from your place so we could see our.
As he calls the city guard, I stand to attention. At your service, sir.
What's his name? Is his name Walter?
His name is Walter, yes.
I'm going to say, Walter, is that your boat over there? Because that is a gorgeous boat. Do you mind if we could just have a look at it, maybe? And calm down?
And he's sort of eyeing you all now. His heckles are up. His bird has taken off and flown up onto the roof and is squawking loudly, and he's got his sword out. You also notice 3 or 4 other sailor types now coming from the dock, coming from the direction of his boat, and you would assume that they would be part of his crew. And they're also now armed and not looking very happy and moving towards your direction.
All I want is an omelette.
I only had one coffee today.
What are you going to do, guys?
Okay, I put my hand up and I look at Walter and I put my arm out and I'm like, I'm sorry, I just lost my shit for a second there. I'm actually here to be helping, not to be getting all up.
You got a funny way of helping, lady. I'm just saying, you're lucky. I would, you'll just, let's say you're lucky. I was about to just fucking break off and open a can of worms or something. I don't know.
Would that go nicely in a mushroom omelette?
Oh, Jesus. And by this time, he's face palms. It's like, oh my God. And like, you can now see a couple of city guardsmen are coming from the Azura Bridge area. They've sort of come their way through and they're sort of, what's happening? What's happening here then? What's going on? And Walter said, it's all right. A misunderstanding. We've got it sorted. It's okay. I got the wrong end of the stick. These guys are trying to help. They went wrong way about it. I was going to kill him, but it's okay. I'm calm now. It's fine. And as Nomaris cackles inanely, roll a wisdom saving throw for me.
May or may not be natural.
Natural one.
Oh God!
As you start cackling at this remark that he was going to kill you, you can't move. Your body just instantly freezes. Your muscles lock up. You can't speak. You can't move, and you can move your eyes. And as you sort of look towards Walter, you can see Walter's looking at you out the corner of his eyes with his hand up, pointed towards you. You are not 100% sure, but you think he's done something to you. But you cannot move. You cannot speak.
Oh,
you are completely paralyzed.
And I say to him,
You can't speak.
I can do it telepathically.
You can try.
I'm going to try and say to him, take this curse off me now, or when I do come round, you're in shit.
And you hear his voice come back to you plain as day. I haven't cursed you, lass. I'm just holding you there for now, just calm you down. And
not the way to go about it.
Did we notice this correlation between the...
It's all telepathic, so you are not sure what's happening. You would possibly... Either roll a perception check to see if you notice that Nomaris is now frozen solid in place and can't move. The city guard's still there.
15.
Yeah, you would probably notice that she can't move. You notice that she's still in the exact same position as she was.
Dirty 20.
You definitely notice.
And hit 17.
You all definitely notice that something's going on. But he essentially says to you that you made a mistake by threatening him, and if you keep on threatening him and keep down this course of action, you'll either A, end up in the city dungeons, or he would indeed kill you all. And you get the impression that hang on, let me finish before you go off on any tangent. You get the impression that he is definitely capable of it. He's not a whelp. He's been around. He's not young. So now what did you want to say?
Being resistant to psychic shit with
It's not psychic.
Alright, well, I'm looking at him and I'm like, okay, well, I'll calm down. But can you please tell me how to make this bloody omelette?
Right, now, while that's going on, what are you guys doing?
I'm going to say, his name, Mr. Hind.
Hein,
Numeris
lovey. Hein. No D. It's a H-Y-N-E. Hein.
Well, that didn't help me at all. Sir, Numeris is just very protective of the things she cares about, and she really cares about protecting this town.
She really cares about omelets by the sound of it.
And
well,
waterfowl.
omelets,
So,
whatever that is.
can you please help us with any information.
I've given you all the information I can give you. You're still not coming in my house. But you can use my boat. If you wanted to hang out on the deck of the boat and you get a good vantage point from there, you got the crow's nest, all that shit, but you're not coming in my house.
Well,
Done.
That is a fair
that's
call.
something. Thank you.
And
Done.
if the big lady don't calm down, I'm not letting her go.
Head goes over to Namaris and puts his hands on her shoulders and says, quietly, he says, listen, Namaris, I think this guy's got some illegal alchemy lab in his house. He says we can use the boat, so we're good for now. Really, we just want to find this lady. This guy, he's just in our way. He's just holding us up. Don't worry about his illegal alchemy lab. We'll sort that out later.
And as he says illegal alchemy, I just get angrier and angrier.
And he holds the spell. He's not going to let you go until you calm down.
Okay, good sir. You can hold on that Namaris there. I'm just going to go off to the boat and wait for.
While
You're cutting
there,
out
can you
again,
have a
Trash.
good look around.
What was that?
You're cutting out all the time, dude.
I hate this headset.
Talk louder.
Okay, good sir. Hold Namaris where you are. I'm going to.
You still cut out, but I'm
Yeah,
assuming you're
just-
going to the boat.
Boat! For fuck's sake, boat!
I heard him good, but Head says yes. Have a look around from there, see what you can spot, and let us know.
So what he then does, Namaris, is he again you're actually taken aback by this, but he speaks to you again telepathically. So you get the impression that he also has the same abilities that you have, or something similar as far as the telepathic's concerned. And he goes, Lassie, I'll let you go. I'll even let you make me an omelette, whatever the hell that is. Just don't come in my house. And calm down. If you're a true city's guardsman, you shouldn't be attacking innocent people in their homes and on their porches. I'm just defending myself.
Alright. Have you got a pan?
You're not coming in my house, but I can give you a pan.
I don't need to come in your house. I just need a fire and a pan, I think.
You can make your own goddamn fire, but I can give you a pan. And then he releases you, and you instantly, you everything, your muscles relax, and you're able to move and speak.
And I
He
look
keeps
at him.
he keeps his sword drawn, and by this stage, the three or four crewmen are now standing with him, as long with the city guard.
I look at his sword and go, I like your sword. Do you want to see my axe?
No, but I'll get you a
Are
pan.
you sure?
And he takes off inside, locks his door, and hands a pan out through the window to one of his groupmen and says, "Here, give this to the big lady. I'm not coming out of my house." And the crewman, which you didn't actually notice before, is probably a good 3 or 4 inches taller than you, is half Goliath. He is a big boy, a lot broader through the shoulders. Doesn't say anything to you, but just hands you a pan, which in his hands looks like a toy pan.
I look him fair in the nostrils and I'm like, you're right, mate.
And he sort of grunts, hands you the pan, turns and walks away.
Thank you. And I look at it.
Wow,
and I'm
Namaris,
like, how
wow.
do I make this bloody omelette now? Omelette? Omelette?
Right, what do you guys do?
I'll take the pen and I'll say, I'll do it. Don't worry about it.
So this exchange took about an hour of your time. You've got the information. You know that around 7:30 that this woman normally shows up around this area, and this is where she's been seen. The man's also been seen here. Although the fishman, he didn't say anything about the fishman. He's heard strange noises on the docks and around his boat and around this particular area. So you kind of determined that this is probably the hotspot. This is probably where you need to be if you want to catch sight of these things.
I'm heading up the mast to the crow's nest.
Away you go. Yeah, you don't need to roll an athletics check or anything like that. There's a ladder to go up there. So you take 2 or 3 minutes. You're pretty dexterous. You're off up to the crow's nest, and you can see a reasonable distance. You can see the immediate area directly below you. You can see out into the Azure Bridge area, which is again just where the main sort of wealthier populace live. Some really nice houses there. There's one big house there, which you would assume would either belong to the city mayor or the lord of the city, which is called Lamp Borough. That's where that is. There's also a military barracks you can see, which would be where the city guard posted and eat and sleep and things like that, and obviously where the city dungeon would probably be located as well.
I can't see my house then.
We can't see your house from there, no.
Okay.
But if you look out across the main city, you could probably see the top of the guild house, as that would sit above most of the other houses, or most of the other buildings, being one of the larger buildings in the city.
Well, I'm going to settle in for the night up top and hide.
Okay. Roll for stealth.
Hang on.
Make sure you add all your modifiers.
16 plus 6. There.
22, right. So 22, as far as you know, you are hidden. And well hidden. What is everyone else doing? You probably got, by this time, maybe an hour and a half till dusk. Hour and a half, maybe.
Can I see any tracks leading from the water or any kind of trails?
Roll a survival check for me.
Hitch also wants to look around for any tracks as well, but more closer to the water, the fish people type thing.
Okay, so both rolled survival checks, looking for tracks.
Might well add, I'm still doing active perception as well.
Yeah, so if you roll a perception check from with advantage from where you are to see if you notice anything from up there. 16, Fiala?
Yes.
So as you sort of walk around the Walter's sort of house, his main house there, and around the forge and around that sort of area, there's a few trees in the area as well. So you sort of wander around there. You don't really see any tracks, but it's kind of weird that there are sort of damp patches of earth where there shouldn't be, where you would assume that the water doesn't come up that far at high tide, and it just doesn't seem natural. There's not been any rain recently, but there's no tracks as such, but there are patches of damp earth or wet earth that you just find a little weird and out of place, sort of around the back of between the docks and Walter's house.
I'm going to go back and tell Het and Namaris what I saw.
So what I will do is give you guys... Where is my map? I will give you guys an idea of what you're seeing right now. So if you look on the screen there, that's essentially what you're seeing. The house on the right is Walter's house. The one on the big building on the left is the forge. There's a well in the centre, which I forgot to mention. You got the docks. Where this part of the dock is up in the upper left, that's where Walter's boat is docked. You've got lanterns, which at night you'll probably find a city guardsman will come around and light those. You've got 3 sort of lamps on the dock edge, and then there's a lantern on the front of the blacksmith and on the front of Walter's house. A couple of trees sort of here and there, a few barrels scattered across the dockside. There's like a barrel crane just sitting there as well. And that's pretty much what you guys are looking at right now.
So Hit would be over by the wooden dock checking for tracks here. He rolled a 17.
17. So again, same sort of thing. You get on the edge of the sort of water edge, right on the dock edge, you notice is the typical sort of footprints from humanoids that have been around the dock edge, unloading boats, coming off the docks, on the docks and things like that. Back to around towards if you move towards the forge, again, you'd find those same sort of wet patches in and around the back of the forge and under the trees, which don't make sense. They definitely shouldn't be there. But they're not footprints, but it's just weird.
It goes back to Fiela and Namaris.
So, we're going to stop right there and take a quick sort of 5-10 minute break, have a drink, have a pee. But before we go, we're going to get an order of where people are. I know Alessandros is in the boat. So where roughly whereabouts would you guys be on that map right now? So just so I know where everyone is.
I'm picking I'd be over by the forge because I didn't want to be too close to the house.
So put you in front of the forge.
Mm-hmm.
So have you in front of the forge. Het and Fiala, you guys be kind of back towards the well by now, I'd guess? Sort of met up at the well?
Yeah, Het would be by the well, heading sort of back towards Namaris and Fiela, I think.
Yeah, I'd probably be near Namaris.
So we'll put you guys that side of the well. Alessandros is up the mast on the boat, so that's fine. So we'll there. So what we'll do is we'll take a short break. For those in the chat, I'm just going to be right back and go for a bathroom break. And when we come back, we'll if you've got any questions, ask a few questions before we head back into the story. And yeah, so talk amongst yourselves for a couple of minutes. We'll be right back.
Take a breath, hold it tight, trace the memory in every line. Does anyone feel what I feel? I know you're feeling what I feel. Oh, and every word is a piece of me. Every single note, every breath I breathe is a cry out, can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. And I know I feel sloppy alone. I've been knocked down, trying to the cold. Sticks and stones never really did hurt me. I signed this life for the world to see. I'm spilling blood out on the page in every song that I have made. Yeah, they know to me. I'm getting older, me. Yeah, when I step out on the stage, I sing my love, my fear and rage. For you all to see, for you all to say, yeah. Take a breath, feel the silence, give it a match and not ignite it. Make it open up your sky, put an ending to the night. Oh, I know I feel sloppy alone. I've been knocked down, trying to the cold. Sticks and stones never really did hurt me. I signed this life for the world to see. I'm spilling blood out on the page in every song that I have made. Yeah, they know to me. I'm getting older, me. Yeah, when I step out on the stage, I sing my love, my fear and rage. For you all to see, for you all to say, yeah. If there's one thing I want from my life, let it be the songs I sing. Will open your eyes and make you see you're not alone. One thing I want from my life, let it be the songs I sing. Will open your eyes and make you see. I'm spilling blood out on the page in every song that I have made. Yeah, they know to me. I'm getting older, me. Yeah, when I step out on the stage, I sing my love, my fear and rage. For you all to see, just to let you know you're not alone. Finding peace in this prison never seemed so hard before. What am I searching for? Just a touch of the feeling rush of you.
All right, chat. I'm back, waiting for the other guys to come back. Nutty's just making a cup of coffee. If you got any questions, feel free. Hey Glitter, how you doing? Thanks for hanging out, mate. Appreciate it. So for those that don't know who I really am, I am the Ugly Kiwi, as my channel states, but I am DM for the game. We are now on episode 11 of Paradym's Bowl, which is the name of the realm. What was the spell I used? It was a very complicated spell. It was my own version of Hold Person, basically. Got a craving for eggs now. Hey, that whole omelette thing threw me out. I didn't know what the hell she was on about with that, but it's all good. It's all good. It's what it's all about. The players will normally screw you over at some point with something, so you got to think on your feet. But ultimately, it was a whole person spell. But I made it. It was a variant of the whole person spell.
Fiela is now using flaming sphere to cook eggs.
Awesome. I love it. But yeah, so that could have gone a different way, obviously. Well, I mean, I didn't quite expect Neymaris to attempt to get rough with Walter. Walter was a nice guy. He didn't need to get roughed up.
Walter was an asshat who owns a P-Lab.
Probably. We don't know what he's got in his house because he won't let you in it.
I definitely think it's a P-Lab.
Well, it's definitely not mobile, so...
He's got an idea of what's going on with the wet patches too.
Wet patches?
Good idea.
There's a lot of things going on with wet patches.
The wet patches all around the area. Can't wait to get back in gaming. Let him know my thoughts.
Right, I'm just going to change the background music here a little bit.
Isn't the guy on
we're
Breaking
back?
Bad named Walter? Who
Yes,
owns the meth lab?
yes. That's why Het said what he said.
Took me a few minutes.
Actually, he had no idea.
Oh, really?
I've never seen that show.
I've seen a few.
Just guessed it.
Yeah, I've seen a few. It wasn't intended that Walter be Walter, that name, for that reason, but that's what I thought you were getting at with the whole meth lab as well.
No, I've never seen it.
What was that spell? That
Whole
you
person.
used?
It was a variant on whole person, just to keep you in check so you didn't kill the party.
I'm supposed to look after the party, not kill them.
Exactly. So you be more careful how you interact with NPCs.
That's right.
But it's all good. It was all good. It's all part of the story. So it made
We
me.
all died.
Hey,
we all died.
it made me have to think on the spot and do something in retaliation. So it was good.
I love making new characters.
So yeah. But
Me too.
so we have our pate. Everyone back. Everyone's back.
Peter's back.
Cuckoo.
Neymaris is here.
Glitter Fairy with a follow. Thank you very much. Oh no, with a host even. Thank you. None of the alerts or anything are working tonight, guys. Again, just for immersion, we want to keep things as immersed as possible. So no alerts. The only spam that's running in the chat will be the socials and the D&D spam, which is that one there and that one there. So we are now just after 9 o'clock, so we'll get back into the story. So thanks everyone in the chat for hanging out with us. Really appreciate it. We're now going back to the story. Everyone back in character. Let's do this. So, with everyone in their respective positions, Het, Neymaris, and Fiala are all sort of congregating between the well and the blacksmith. the closed blacksmith. Alessandros is upper mast, getting a bird's eye view. You've made your investigations. What are we doing? We're now maybe an hour out from dusk.
Heads towards Fiela and Namaris. Sorry, Fiela and Namaris. And lets them know he just saw some of the wet patches around the area.
What do you think's causing those wet patches?
Well, is there? I mean, I guess there's some around here too, right? That's what you were saying before, Fiela.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting they haven't dried out. Maybe they're magical of some kind.
Oh, we have an incontinent pirate.
Yeah, some of those men that we saw before looked a little bit. Never.
An incontinent pirate. Holy shit.
Well, I mean, it's the wet patch that lasts forever, right? He does seem to be the type of man who might drink a lot. He doesn't want us in his house. If he's peed the bed, it will stink. So...
I wonder what he's got in that house.
It's got to be alchemy. Nonetheless, we're getting sidetracked here. I guess, are we... DM, what's the time of day here we're looking at?
We're now looking... Oh, so you're probably looking around about an hour outside of dusk. You're probably looking at 6:30. The sky is now starting to turn the sort of yellowy orangey into the deep purples. The sun is setting.
Okay.
I might go and join Ali up on the boat.
So you're going to move up to the boat as well?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's a good idea that we split too far. Ellie's safe in the crow's nest from looksies. I'm looking up to Ellie. Ellie's safe in the crow's nest, I believe.
And the
maybe
other
we should
pitch a tent.
keep together.
I mean, you do have, like I say, you've got a couple of trees. There's trees around both buildings. There's like an eaves over both buildings, so there is shadow and cover under the eaves of the buildings. By now, the city guard have come around and lit the torches. So you've got three like light poles / torches on the dock edge, and one at the front of the blacksmith, and one on the southern corner of Walter's house. So you've got patches of sort of light that go out sort of 20 so feet from each lantern, but there is dark patches and shadows as the night sort of progresses. It starts to get darker and darker. Those shadows get longer and get larger. So you do have patches of light, so you can see reasonably well in this particular area around the well and things like that. But there still are quite a number of shadows around. Right up on the edges of the docks where the barrels and stuff are, there'd be shadows underneath those as the night draws in. Where the stairs are, so in relation to where you guys are standing, you have to go up like 4 or 5 steps up to the dock. So the dock is probably 3 to 4, 5 feet off the actual ground to enable for the tide to come in. So you get the impression the tide does come in to under the dock, and sometimes like those barrels and stuff that are under the barrel hoist would normally not be there. They would have been lifted and put on the docks, but because the docks is essentially being shut down, they've been left there. So you get the impression, the high tide mark would be around the stairs, around the bottom of the stairs. So at night when the lake sort of does sort of ebb and flow, it's a large lake, so there is a shift in currents, maybe from an underground river, so there is a change in the level of the water, and you can visibly see that sort of tide mark up around where those barrels would be.
Hit's going to move into a position where he's in a shadow, but he can still see the area where they say they spotted the white lady.
So for that, you would probably, the corner of the blacksmith by the wagon would probably be a good place. Yeah. It's nice and shadowy.
Excellent. That's what I was thinking, that corner.
Alright, I'll join him.
You'll join Hit in the same position?
Yeah.
I would like to hide to the best of my ability there.
If you're willing to hide, roll a stealth check. Fialia, whereabouts are you going to position yourself?
Might I wild shape into a panther and see if I can smell anything?
Certainly can. Whereabouts you go? Are you just going to go for a general search around the area?
Yeah, I would like to kind of linger by a tree on one of the trees, preferably.
So roll a perception, an investigation check with advantage for the cat using smell.
16.
16. Again, there's not much scent here. You get you definitely get the scent of the water, that fresh water in the earth, the wet earth around the edges of the lake. You catch scents and smells of the some of the stagnant sort of edges further around to the north. You're picking up distinct smells from the blacksmith and things like that, but you sniff the patches of water, and it's definitely not natural. You know something has caused this to be here, and it hasn't dried up naturally. It's a very odd smell, almost like salt water, but you know that couldn't be possible because the lake is a freshwater lake. But it definitely, to you, it smells like salt. It's very salty. It smells like salt water to you.
Have we ever seen Fiala change before?
No, you have not.
I kind of scratch my head and poke Cat in the side and go, is she like Allie?
What do you mean, like Ellie?
She did tell you that she could shapeshift, though, when you first met her.
That's alright, then I was
Yeah,
having a
you
moment.
just haven't seen it before.
Oh, no, that's okay. No, it's alright. It's like I just
Yeah,
point out.
you are aware she is a druid and she has the ability to shapeshift.
That's fine then.
But it'd be a surprise for us because we've never seen it.
Yes, because you've never seen it. I mean, you know she's capable of it. You just never seen it happen. So you might look and go, "Oh, wow, that's cool."
Yeah, I was just thinking, oh, look, a kitty cat.
It's a large
Have you ever made large kitty cat omelette?
I don't think they lay eggs.
I just look at them and squint my eyes a little.
And growl.
P.S. Hit only rolled a 9 for his stealth.
A 9 for stealth, no worries. As far as you know, you're hidden. Anyone else wanting to hide or stealth? Roll a stealth check.
I don't think I could hide if I wanted.
21.
21. As far as you're concerned, you are well stealthed. Now, Maris, you're going to roll a stealth check.
I rolled a 14.
Yeah, well, as far as you know, you're stealth. So for this, no, you've already rolled your stealth. You're pretty good. So for story's sake, we're gonna move into dusk. So now the sun has pretty much set. It's right on sort of dusk. The shadows are really long. The sky's really dark purple, heading into that black of night. Pinpointed with stars. It's a clear night, and everyone roll a perception check for me.
16.
How long does your wild shape last for?
Half my level, so 1 hour, I guess.
Okay. So we'll round it up, so we'll make it 2 hours. So, Fiona, what was your perception check?
16.
16. Hit, Namaris?
16.
13.
13. And Alessandros?
19.
So, Fiela and Alessandros, you'd probably see it first. You see almost a blue. It's not quite, but you'd look at it and go, it's definitely white, but it's almost like a blue hue, and you just see this glow in the water, probably from where Fiala would be, probably about 20 or 30 feet off the edge of the dock. And because of where you are, Alessandros, you can see it probably a little more clearly. You see this glow in the water. It has a bluish hue to it, but it's definitely a white light, and it's distorted by the water and the waves, and it's moving slowly towards the shore. Het and Amaris, from where you are, you probably would see a bit of a glow from the water's top, maybe, but you wouldn't really notice it too much. You'd sort of see it and sort of go, oh, what maybe that's something, but you're not 100% sure.
Even with a 16.
Even with a 16, is where your position is, unfortunately.
Damn it.
So what are we going to do, team?
How far is my distance between Het and me?
Between Het and you would have probably about 80 feet, because you're probably 30 feet up in the mast, then you're probably another 40, 50 feet from where they are. At the blacksmith.
To sneak up to the dock.
You wanna move up to the docks?
Yep, just to get a better look. See where the barrels are.
Okay, so you move up. Do you want to move up to the barrels, the ones on the docks or the ones off the docks?
The ones on the dock.
Okay, so you want to move up
Just
to the
wanna
ones
hide
on the
behind
docks. Okay, so you move yourself up to there, and from that position, you sort of look out where you think you might have seen something, and yeah, from there you do see that same glow, and it's moving slowly, but it's moving towards the shore.
I beckon to Het to come over here so we can have a look better.
Het reluctantly creeps forward as carefully as he can.
And you get there with you get to Namaris without any hassles at all, and you too see that same white glow, bluish and haze. Just it looks like it's probably maybe 10 feet under the surface, moving slowly towards the shore at that other end right at the end of the dock. So probably from where you guys are, probably about 60 or 70 feet from where your current position is.
I kind of look up towards Ali and quietly say in my mind, "Can you see anything that we?"
And you hear that, Alessandros, and you can reply to it.
Yeah, light blue glow coming from water. Can't make out the shape.
Same as us then.
And at that point, Alessandros, you see a second glow appear 10 feet to the right of the first glow. This one's closer to the shore.
Can I relay that to Namaris in her head, or?
No, you cannot.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
With your guys' pad, where you are now, Alessandros and Het, you'd probably notice it anyway. You would have seen the second one because you're now visibly looking in that general area. So you see the second one appear. Fiala, you with your perception roll, you'd definitely notice the second one as well.
Okay, there's two. What do we do? Het is whispering.
So what do we do, guys? What are we doing? The both lights or both entities are now are moving towards the shore. The second one is probably now 10 feet from the shoreline. First one you saw is probably 15 or 20 feet from the shoreline, and both are about 60 to 70 feet from your current position.
On guard.
You what, sorry?
On guard.
On guard.
Because there's nothing that I can do until they come to me.
Okay.
So I'm getting ready. I've got my axe out and I'm getting ready.
I'm not going to do anything until they do something.
Okay. Over the course of the next sort of 10 minutes, 15 minutes, they both slowly move closer and closer to the shore. As they reach the shoreline, first one vanishes. Second one vanishes. And then they reappear 30 feet from where you are on the shoreline. You still can't quite make out, because it's where they are, it's pitch black. The glow sort of comes out.
Are they on the land?
They are now on land. They're still about 10 or 15 feet apart, but they're now 30 feet from your current position, and they're moving. Looks like they're moving towards you.
Can we make out the shapes better now?
You definitely see that they definitely have a humanoid shape, but you can't make out any features. It's still just a white glow with a real blue haze, almost like that rainbow effect when you get from a white light in pitch blackness. And they're both just sort of moving
Morris.
slow, almost like they're floating slowly towards you.
Morris, if they haven't spotted us, maybe it's time to do our thing.
All right then. What do you want me to do?
We don't know if they're angry or assuming they're still heading towards us, but
They are.
maybe we stop and ask them what their business is here.
Sounds like a good idea. I'll take the one on the left if you want to take the one on the right.
Okie
And
dokie.
I wander up. Hello there. How can we help?
So you're gonna walk towards them.
Mm-hmm.
As you
Correct.
turn around to walk towards them, they're now literally 10 feet from you, at the first set of stairs, right by the barrels.
Oh, hello.
And Hit is just behind Namaris, within 5 feet of Namaris.
And what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to the battle map.
Wah, wah, wah.
Bring this into view because this guys are. So those are the barrels and crates where you guys are. I'm going to change this music before it puts me to sleep. So, change microphones so you guys can still hear me.
So whereabouts is Namaris and Hit?
So we would have moved up closer, yeah.
Essentially, Namaris and Het are at the barrels. The two entities that you saw coming towards you and
Oh no!
Fiala fell over,
That's
but
a lot.
she's okay. It's okay. She's a cat. She landed on her feet.
Too
But
much catnip there, dear.
just a little bit. So we have Het and Namaris. We have the two entities, one figure here, one figure there. Obviously, Fiala the cat, and Alessandros is off over in that direction on a ship.
So I'm still about 80 feet away.
Now you'd be more like 110, maybe 120 feet away, because they've moved further away from you. But as far as you are aware, you are unseen.
But I'm kind of wandering out of my hiding place, going, hello, what can we do to help?
And as you step forward, you then get your first look at actually who these people are, and it's a man and a woman, both reasonably attractive people, both dressed in white, as you have been told. And the lady says nothing, but she bows to you in a non-threatening way, and sort of just bows and in a greeting sort of manner. The man does the same, but says nothing to you.
I'd like to try and speak to them telepathically. And I'm going to be saying, oh, well, how can we help?
And a minute goes by past, and you hear nothing. Another minute goes past, and no response.
I look at Het and I'm like, well, they seem fairly harmless, but they're not saying anything in their heads.
Hit calls forward in as loud a voice as he can and says, he's holding on to his symbol of Maggie of the thatch and says, "Be gone, evil spirits!"
Is that all he says? Just be gone, evil spirits.
Yep.
You're not
he's just
casting.
saying
You're not
something.
You're not casting
Nope.
anything. You're just saying it.
No, not casting anything.
Okay.
He's seen his dad do it once before and he just thought he'd give it a go.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Roll an intimidation check.
My favorite. 26.
Ooh. Both creatures, in fact, turn and look intently at you. The female figure takes a noticeable step or two backwards and holds her hands up in almost a defensive manner. The male figure moves towards his left, maybe 5-10 feet, and casts a spell. Everyone roll initiative.
Excellent.
Nine.
Just give me 1 second. I've got to bring up my initiative tracker here. Right, so Fiala gets a 9. Hit, what's your initiative?
5 for hit.
Ooh. Namaris?
I
It's
did
okay, last is good.
15.
Sorry?
I got a 15.
15. Alessandros?
21.
21.
No, 22. Hang on. Yeah, 20,
21 or 22?
21.
Oh, excuse me. Right, rolling for him. Where is... There it is. He gets not much. And roll for her. Ooh, that's good. That is good.
I don't like it when DM says that's good.
Righty then.
It's only initiative.
Yeah, so we're already in initiative. So he's going to get 1 cast before initiative starts. It won't be a surprise because you notice him casting. So if you have a reaction, Hit and Neymaris and probably Fiala, if you have a reaction that you could possibly use, you can use it in this particular moment. But Mr. Man is going to cast a spell at you, Hit, or in your general direction. And he's going to cast this particular spell when I find it here. So, you will catch both of you guys in its area of effect, 20-foot square. You guys must make a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
Thank goodness I've got dual mind.
Hit roll 6.
6, you fail.
17.
And Namaris, you succeed. So, Hit, you are restrained as black smoky tentacles emerge from the ground beneath you. You also take 9 points of bludgeoning damage. I'm pretty sure because you succeed, Miss Neymaris, you only take half damage, which would have been 4 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are not restrained.
Right.
And at this time, you also see the female figure. Her shape changes, her face changes. She's no longer this very attractive woman in a white dress. She has long grey, scraggly hair almost down to her knees. She's got long green, spindly fingers they're all tipped with razor sharp claws, wearing really long dripping black cloak and a dress. She is horrible looking. 5, 10. You both needed to make a wisdom saving throw as well.
I gain advantage on that.
What's your wisdom saving throw?
Hit rolled low again. 6 for hit. Not so good.
Not so good for hit. Hit, you are also frightened for 1 minute.
You got 19.
And no, Maris, you succeed. So you are not frightened of this creature that has just shown her true form to you, and you also are immune to this effect again for the next 24 hours. So you can no longer be frightened by this person. Fiala, you are just outside of the range of that particular effect, so you are fine. Right, so with that, initiative order takes hold, and Alexandros, you are top of the initiative order. And the woman is next after that.
How far can I get with Shadow Step?
It should say
30 feet.
30 feet. So if you were to use your movement, you can shadow step 30 feet, which will bring you from the crow's nest to the deck of the boat. And you
I
could
have to do that.
You can do that. Then if you were to use your movement and your action, you could get another 60 feet.
Yeah, do all that.
So that will bring you to deck of the boat, 30. Probably get you to about there, which will just bring you into view.
So each of those squares...
It's
5
5
or 10
feet.
foot?
5 feet. So you have a bonus action left, and that's about it.
Not much I can do.
No. So that is your turn. So the woman's turn next. She is going to... Ooh, this could be interesting. Oh, should I do it? I got to. Should do it. Hit. Wisdom saving throw for me again, please. She glares at you, and you're already frightened of her, so you're staring into these dark, black, lifeless eyes, and the face, it's hard and twisted, almost like she's been dead for a long, long time. The mouth is twisted into a horrible sort of visage of death. What was your roll? I think you might be muted because we can't hear you. Oh, there we go.
Sorry, my bad. There was a 11.
11? My God, are you lucky. That is exactly what you needed to pass this save. As she sort of reaches out into your mind, you feel the pressure against your mind, and you want to almost cry out in terror, but you manage to shake that effect off, and you're still frightened of her, but you're not. You felt like it was. Your mind was on the verge of just giving up. You managed to shake it off and sort of think, oh, wow, that was freaky, and you are terrified of this creature.
My God, she's uglier than I am. That's what I thought.
Pretty much. Now, Maris, you are next. Fiala, you're up after that.
Bonus action, I'm going to rage.
Now, Maris would like to rage. Now, Maris rages. Anyone close to her, Fiala, you probably see this for the first time as you look on. Now, Maris sort of stands up at her tallest, sort of flexes all of her muscles and just... And her eyes sort of light up in a bright red orange and almost emanate this reddish sort of smoke, sort of steam sort of rising from her eyes and face, and just you can see that intense rage and anger just
I'm
well
running
up.
up to the man that tried to restrain.
Okay. Hang on before you do. Need to read something here quickly. You take another 9 points of bludgeoning damage, reduced to 4 for the tentacles. And you run into melee combat with the man.
And I hit with a 7.
You attack with a 17. This does hit. Roll your damage.
12.
12 points of what damage? Just slashing damage?
Yep, slashing.
Your weapon is magical, yes?
Yes.
Okay. 12 points of slashing damage. And is that your only attack? I believe that's your only attack with one-handed weapon so far, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you charge in, raging, and you sort of take the guy by surprise. You didn't expect anyone to charge at him, and he sort of almost takes a step back, and then you come down with Helm's Vengeance and slash him across the chest. It opens up a wound, but the wound almost instantly closes. He's definitely taken damage, but you're surprised that wound didn't leave like a more permanent, more open, gaping wound. It sort of almost closed instantly to a point where it was fully closed, but you can still see where you hit him, and it's bleeding a little bit, but nowhere near what you expected. And he sort of goes, "Ah!" and sort of looks at you, and even his visage has changed. He's not that well-groomed looking gentleman that you first saw, and his eyes are sunken in, and his fingers almost look like tentacles to a degree.
I just look in his eyes and I'm like, "Arr."
Fiela, you are next.
I'd like to get into a position to pounce.
You can pretty much do that from there. You don't, because I think you only have to move 20 feet, don't you, before you can do that?
Yeah.
Yep, you're within 20 feet. So you are wanting to pounce?
Yes.
So you want
stealth, right?
You are stealth, so
Does that
yep.
count as melee?
Depends on what she attacks with.
Okay.
The pounce is not melee at this stage. I know what she's trying to do, so yeah.
So that's at 18.
18, that does... is there a save for pounce?
I don't know.
That's right. Well, hang on a second. I'm pretty sure...
It says DC 12 strength saving throw.
So it's a strength saving throw. That's what we need to know. Cocked. I believe he fails. He did. He rolled a 10, so he failed the saving throw. So I believe he's knocked prone.
Alright, and then I'm going to do the claw attack with that.
Boom. Now, Marius, you see this big Black Panther come out of the tree line and just pounce. Claws out, teeth bared, growling, pounces on this entity, and knocks him prone, paws down on his chest, and then goes in for an attack. You have advantage on this attack because of Namaris's ability, I believe. Is it advantage?
Yep.
Yeah. So roll 2 d20s and take the highest.
Advantage.
18.
So 18 does hit. Roll your damage for the bite or claw attack, whichever you're using.
Which is what, 2d6, right?
I believe so, yeah. So it'll be in the cat stat block. It'll say what damage it is. I believe
That's
it's
8.
Yeah. So 8 damage.
Yes. Piercing.
8 piercing damage, and because it's wild shape, it is classed as magic damage, which is good. So this giant cat pounces on us, knocks him prone, and comes in and it just rakes the claws across his face, and 8 piercing damage. And initiative tracker. Again, you see the same thing. Claws rake across this dude's face, and the wounds open up, but then they almost instantly, not heal, but they almost instantly close to a point where they're not gaping. still taking damage. He's looking, and he's not happy about being down on the ground. He's struggling, trying to move under the weight of the cat, but is currently pinned there and prone. Next, anything else you want to do? You want to bonus action, maybe? Or are you just going to stay there?
Do a bonus action from wild shape? I'm not sure.
It'll all be in the cat stat block whether you have a bonus action or not.
I don't think I do.
I don't think you can. So we'll leave it at that. So it is his next turn. He is, I think... Does he have to make a strength check to get up once failing the pounce? I'm not 100% sure.
It just says if the target's prone, I can make a bite attack and a bonus action. So no.
Okay, so he can use half his movement to get back up, which is what he's going to do.
Was he concentrating on the spell that was holding hit?
No, he was not, I believe. We will find out in just a second. Yes, he was. He will have to make a concentration check. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Trinity attack.
No hassle. I'm thinking about hit.
And he fails concentration check, so that spell is gone.
So I'm just no longer restrained, I take it.
You're no longer restrained, and you are still frightened, though.
Still frightened. Correct.
So we'll leave that mark wrong, because it still marks you as being frightened. So that spell is gone. So he's got half his movement to get up, and he's now going to make his attack at Neymaris. You did the most damage. He is going to try and attack you, Neymaris. And he rolls a 7 to hit. I believe that misses.
Missed.
So that's pretty much all he can do, I think. Nope, that's all he's going to do. So that's pretty much his. He's not going to move anymore. Het, it is now your turn.
Het is going to move away from the source of the frightening to behind the well. The woman frightened him, did she not?
Yes. She
So he's
certainly
moving
did.
behind the well, just to the top left side of the well, so she is out of his line of sight. About there, yeah.
About there, yeah. I mean, you could probably still see her from there, but she's no longer illuminated. So I'd say you'd be okay as far as the frightening is concerned.
No, he arranges himself so he cannot see her.
Okay.
He turns around, his back to her.
Right, so you're going to avert your gaze. No problem.
Correct. Because he is frightened. That is how he would react.
That is it. So any attacks against her while you're with your gaze averted are at disadvantage?
They're at disadvantage while I'm frightened. I cannot anyway.
Yes, I think so.
But I do know that my friends need help. And even though I'm frightened, I'm going to pull out my loot. And I'm going to give them some... No, I'm not going to inspiration. I'm going to give them bliss instead.
Gonna bless? Okay.
Inspiration is a waste of time.
Who are we
I'm
blessing?
going to put out the loot. I'm going to bless. I'm going to bless everyone. We are united. United we stand. And I'm not even going to sing. I'm just going to hold forth my Medal of the Iron Lady and bless everyone. So everyone, 1, 2, 3.
Is that including you or just them?
Sorry, just my partner.
Just
not
them?
myself.
Sweet. Okay.
And
So
then I
you-
wipe the sweat from my brow. That's me.
And you guys hear this hit start up his lute and play an awesome little ditty, and his words carry weight, and you guys feel emboldened, and you now take a D4 on any attack or saving throws. So who is next? They would be next, but they're not here. So next on the list, Alessandro's back to the top of the order.
I take it that long stick thing with a square underneath it, that's a crate being hung?
No, it's a barrel hoist. So the piece on the dock is fixed. It's strapped and bolted down, and the piece sticking out from the dock is where the barrels would be lifted and swung round. So that whole thing's about 15 feet off the ground. The decks are the docks are about 5 feet off the ground.
So is there any light getting to the top of that thing?
No, probably not. You'd probably be in dim light there.
Up I go.
Athletics check for me.
No, that's a.
Or are you going to
Shadow
Are you going to
step.
shadow step up there? Yeah, I'll allow that. Still make an athletics check.
Sorry,
It's not
do
very
you-
wide, so make an athletics check to make sure you can stay
Yeah,
standing up there.
That's an 18.
You're fine. What was that hit? You were breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, my Discord cut. I was just wondering, do I have to roll for a save for being frightened again, or does it stay?
I believe with that one, the line of sight. Start of your next turn. So when it's your turn again, you get to make another throw to determine whether you remain frightened.
Awesome, thank you.
No worries. Actually, no. Sorry, at the end of each next turn. So yeah, make another wisdom save. I read that wrong.
Oh, that's better. 19.
You are no longer frightened.
Excellent.
Yeah, as you make that saving throw, you sort of, after playing your lute and blessing your friends, you manage to shake off that fear of this being that's just sort of changed its shape in front of you. It's the first time you've seen something like that, especially something that's gone from something so beautiful to something so horrible and disgusting, and it took you by surprise, but you've managed to shake that fear off, seeing your friends now in battle, and you're willing to join them in such a battle. So, Alessandros, you've shadow stepped to the top of the crane.
And one of my daggers is being thrown at the
At the lady or the man?
lady.
Lady, 15, 15, 20. What's your short range on your daggers?
20.
Yeah, she's nearly 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 30, 40, 40. She's probably 50 feet away from you, and you're 15 feet up.
Max range is 60.
Yeah, that's a disadvantage to throw for that distance.
Okay.
Yeah, your short range is your range that you can throw without a disadvantage. Your long range becomes a disadvantage attack.
I'll hold off then. Well, actually, no. To see if I can confuse them, what have we got? Hang on. I'll make a copy of myself, kind of resembling myself, minor illusion,
Yes.
in front of her, see if that confuses her. So what?
So what's the range on minor illusion?
30 foot.
So we'll use that marker as your minor illusion. So you're making a copy of yourself.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you're going to see if she's going to be hindered by that. That's what you're going to do?
Yep.
So yeah, you reach out and you cast this. It's not perfect because it is only a minor illusion. It doesn't speak, doesn't move, but it is there. It looks like you. It's not doing anything, but it's definitely there. So we'll go from there. Next, anything else you want to do?
And that's it.
That's it. So it's the lady's turn. She sees this image just appear in front of her, and she is going to okay. She is going to move towards Neymaris because that's about the only person she can see. She knows it's an illusion, by the way.
Yeah, I figured that. Bugger.
And she rocks into melee combat with us, with Neymaris, and attacks with a 17 to hit. Namaris.
Hit.
Namaris.
That hit.
Wake up.
I'm awake.
So she hits you with 13 points of slashing damage, reduced to 6 because of your rage. And that's pretty much else. That's it. Yep, that's all she's going to do.
Right.
Now, Maris, it's your turn.
I get hurt and I turn around and I
Roar! I am woman, hear me roar.
Exactly. I pick up my axe and I swing it with.
Your Helm's Vengeance, don't you mean?
Yeah,
It's not an axe. It's not an axe. It's a
I
sword.
pick up my helm. It's a great. Okay. Helm's Vengeance. A great sword.
It's a great sword. And who are you attacking?
The lady that just attacked.
Okay. That didn't sound good.
19.
How much, sorry?
19 to hit.
I can't hear you. Is it 19?
Mm-hmm.
That hits. I don't know what you're shitting about with a 19.
I hadn't added anything up yet. Ten damage.
10 damage. It's an axe sword, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you spin as she rakes the claws across your back, and you spin.
What do I do with bliss?
You can add a d4 to hit, but you hit, so it doesn't matter. You turn around and just slash back again out of her, and hit her right across the top of the shoulder and down the chest, and 10 points of slashing damage. She screams out in pain. And the scream itself is almost deafening. It's real high pitched, almost like a banshee, just wails and echoes in the night air. And it's that in itself is almost frightening. You sort of hear it, and because you've already been frightened of it, that sound it makes you cringe, but you're not frightened of it. It definitely, you can feel it in your bones. Fiala, you are next.
I am going to use my bonus action to revert back to...
Your natural form?
Yes. And I'm going to cast Moonbeam on the man in front of me.
So, is Moonbeam a melee spell, or is it a ranged spell?
It's a range level 2
Yeah,
spell.
you are currently in melee range, so you'd have to move before you could cast it, and you would take an attack of opportunity to move away from the combat because you're in melee combat with him.
All right, I'm going to use Shillelagh.
Okay, make your attack roll.
Is that 18?
That definitely hits. And roll your damage.
Roll on the floor.
4 on damage?
Yeah.
Okay, 4 damage. So realizing that you're too close to cast Moonbeam, you're a little bit frustrated and you're kind of new to the whole adventuring thing, so you grab your shillelagh and just crack him across the forehead with it, and do 4 damage. 4 bludgeoning damage. Again, he takes it, cracks him across the head, and he sort of looks at you and almost grins as if to say, "Well, is that all you got?" Now it's his turn.
Oh no.
You have got a bonus action still if you want it, and you can still move. Like I say, if you move away from him, you will take an attack of opportunity, which is just a melee attack. So that is still an option.
Can I disengage from combat and move?
Only if you have that as an ability.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, as a bonus action, like rogues and someone with a feat can use a disengage to negate that. I think some of your animal forms will have that as an ability. So just check those on your stat blocks as well. So I think the cat may have had that where you could have disengaged from combat.
I got too foolhardy.
That's all right. Got to learn these things. So yeah, so that's all you're gonna do.
Yeah.
So it's now his turn. He now, what's he gonna do now? He is going to. Let's have a look at this spell. He's going to cast a spell at you, Hit. You will need to make a... What is the save on a wisdom save for me?
20. Dirty.
Dirty 20. Again, you feel this pressure on your mind, and it's almost unbearable. Then you just sort of step back and shake it off, and you're not entirely sure what it was, but it wasn't pleasant, and you save from the effects. And that is about all he is going to do, I believe. No, he's not. No, yes he is. That's it. Yes, that's it. That's his turn. He's not going to do anything else. Next in the list is you, Hit.
Hit is going
And
to...
Alessandro, you're up after that.
Hit is going to move around to the front of the well. Now, pretty much exactly opposite where it is.
Oop, yep, fell over. You fell over. He tripped on his
Sorry, I
robes.
was running through. And Hit is going to bring forth in his memory some school teachings from his Mythloran Bard at college. Need more gain. And he tweaks some of the dials on his lute. And then he points at both the creatures within range. They're both within 60 feet of me.
They are, certainly.
He points his lute at both of them, between them. And he says, prone. And I use the command spell at level 2 to make them both go prone.
And that's a wisdom save.
It is a wisdom save, but that disadvantage because of need more gain.
So the male rolls a natural 13. Wisdom save, that is a 15.
That's a fail. That is a fail. It's 14 to save.
He rolled a 15. He rolled natural 15, natural 13, so he got a 15. So he saved. She rolls a natural 17. I think her wisdom is higher, so she gets a 19.
Damn.
So they both save.
They rolled at disadvantage?
Yep, certainly did.
Dang it.
Both got
Okay,
pretty high
never mind.
wisdom, so.
That is cool.
So yeah, they both save. Unfortunately, again, they both feel that a pressure on their minds and just manage to shake it off, and you just dispel it. It finishes and nothing happens, and you're just like, damn it, and yeah, no effect.
That's good. Hit is done.
Hit is done. Neymar, Alshonish, you're next on the list.
Okay, middle of the barrels up behind. I'll shadow step to behind.
How many times can you shadow step?
Doesn't say.
It's unlimited, isn't it? I think it's every turn.
Yeah.
We might have to look at that.
Bugger. But yeah, that's where I want to go.
So about there.
Yep. I should be able to move up behind using move. I should be able to move up behind her.
Yes, you should.
I'll move up behind and do a backstep.
And you have advantage on the attack because you are within. You have Namaris within 5 feet of that particular person, so you have advantage on the attack, and you got sneak attack.
I believe there's advantage on both of them.
So roll your D20 plus your hit modifier.
So 19 plus 5.
It definitely hits. So you roll your D4 plus 3, then add your sneak attack damage, which is 2d6.
2d10.
Oh, that's right. You've got your special ability now. So 2d10s. So what's your damage there, Trash?
So that's 13.
13 points of slashing or piercing damage. Doesn't really matter. Piercing. You'll have your bonus attack as well. So it was 13 points on your first attack. You now make your offhand attack, so d20 plus your attack modifier again. Don't forget you have Bless, so you can add a d4 to that roll as well, if you need
14
to.
plus 5.
19. That hits. So again, roll the d4 plus 3. Just this time, d4 without the plus 3, sorry.
1.
1. And another point of piercing damage. Your kidney shot, double stab. So yeah, again, Elishanus, you shadow step to the barrels, you sneakily come down behind the lady and just, yeah, massive big shot with your first dagger, and a second one just for extra damage. Give her a bit of a kidney shot. And she, again, cries out in pain, and that sound again, it's just echoey and it's just loud. You hear a few noises from the house next door. Walter's shitting himself. He's not having a bar of it, and he's shut up his windows, and he's not coming out. So is that your turn? You're not going to move? No, you've moved. You've bonus action. You're done. Now it is her turn. She's going to turn and retaliate. And she's going to... she is going to attack you with her claws. And rolls a 16 to hit.
That's it.
And she then does 9 points of slashing damage. Reaches out, turns you around, and just slashes out across your chest, and chest and stomach area, and leaves 4 big slash marks across your stomach. And that's pretty much her turn. Next in line is Neymaris.
Right, I hit her with a 20.
26. That hits.
And I do a whole 7 damage.
7 damage, really? That's with your rage damage as well?
Oh, I do a whole 9 damage.
I was going to say.
Oh, hang on. 9, 10, 11,
12?
12.
12
I got
damage.
my damage.
Your damage. Right, so yeah, again, Neymaris swings angrily, collecting the woman across the side of the again, down on top of her shoulder, leaves a really nasty gaping wound. 12 damage. She's not looking too happy. She's open wounds, bleeding heavily. She's got blood, black, icky, gooey, stinky blood coming from her mouth and from the open wounds. And it almost, again, smells like sea air, like seawater or salt water coming from the wounds. It's kind of weird smell, but she's looking pretty rough. Fiala, you are next, unless Neymaris wants to move, or which I doubt she would. She's raging.
I'm right in between the two of them, so it gives everybody else a advantage on their melee attack.
And it does. So Fiala, this is your turn again.
I would like to move 15 feet back.
So you will take an attack of opportunity from the guy, which is just a melee attack. So that will be That is 13 to hit.
Ow.
Does that hit? So it does. So you... Oh, this is not going to be good for you. Sorry. This is going to hurt. He has a nasty melee attack. Oh, yeah, this is not good.
Am I dead?
I think you're unconscious. You take 31 points of thunder damage.
It's a bad night for me.
Are you unconscious? I believe
Yeah.
you are. I'm pretty sure you only have 22 points. So you guys watch as Fiala retreats from the guy. He reaches out and touches her, and you hear this almighty thunderclap, and Fiala just drops instantly and is unconscious.
How far does she get then?
She'll get to 15 feet. We'll allow that.
Okay.
So yeah, that was Fiala's turn. It's now his turn again. With this, he then you watch him as he opens his maw, and you hear this thunderous noise coming from his throat, and it's loud. It can be heard for up to 300 feet. It's does anyone speak Abyssal, Infernal, or Primordial? By any chance?
No.
I don't think
Infernal.
you speak Infernal.
I do.
Well, we'll say it's in Primordial, so I don't have to say anything. So yeah, it's just this real guttural sound. It's watery, it's loud, and well, excuse me. So everyone, make a charisma saving throw, please.
Hit gets 12.
Hit fails and is frightened for 1 minute.
Crap.
Taylor get 16.
Namaris succeeds and is not frightened.
And
Elishandrus fails and is frightened. So you guys now are both frightened for 1 minute. You cannot approach the man, and any attacks against him have disadvantage.
Do we make saves at the end of our round again?
With this one, frightened target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of your turn. So yeah, at the end of your next turn, you can repeat that save.
Sweet.
And that is all the priest is going to do. Next, it is Het's turn.
Het sees Fiala hit the deck as the creature tries to stop her, and he immediately, because he's so close, runs to her side, and he pulls out the loot, points it at her, and says, "I'm the medicine man!" And he casts Cure Wounds.
Awesome. That is awesome. I love it.
I will roll for Courage here. When I find my dice. She gets 8 points of healing.
And yeah, Fiala, at the moment you sort of felt that thunderous attack, you hit the deck, and within again a split moment, your eyes sort of flicker open, and you see Het standing above you with his loot out, and you just hear the remnants of the song. God, Namaris, grow up. She's losing her shit over there. And you feel that warm healing sort of fill your body, and you're now back to hit 8 hit points. Christ's sakes, lady.
Het, as a bonus action, can Het extend his hand to try and help her up?
I'll allow it.
That is what he does, and that is the end of his turn.
So, because does the bliss remain if they become unconscious, or does that dissipate?
The bliss remains as long as I'm conscious, I believe. Let me just...
Okie dokie. It seems legit. We'll go with that.
The spell continues unless I have to stop concentrating or
Okay.
I...
Yeah, I think so, yeah. So yeah, with that, Het reaches down with his big dragonborn hand and helps you back to your feet. But for your next turn, you only have half movement.
Am I at 1 health? Or
You're at 8. You're at 8.
Okay.
So but essentially, when you get dropped to unconsciousness, you just drop to 0 hit points. You don't go below. The only time that makes any difference, if that damage was double your hit points, you would be instantly dead. So if that was 44 damage, then we would have had a problem. So you were lucky it wasn't quite that much.
And if you take another hit once you're 0, that starts to count backwards too, I believe.
It counts as a death save, basically. If you take
Correct,
a hit,
yes.
yeah, if you take a hit, then it becomes a death save loss. So next on the list, that was Hit's turn. Alexandros, we're back to the top.
Alright, attacking the shitty white female.
So she's not white no more, but you can attack her. Again, your attack is at advantage. Both attacks are with advantage because you're within 5 feet of Namaris. And you still get sneak attack on your first attack.
But she's facing me.
Doesn't matter. You have an ally within 5 feet.
Okay.
So it still counts. Nat roll 20? Dude. First attack, roll 2d4s, 2d4 plus 3, and then your 2d10.
Can hit roll for unfrightened too?
Yes, you may.
8 on the d4s.
Is that plus with the plus 3?
Yep.
Sweet. Roll your 2d10s. What'd you roll hit?
15.
You save, you're no longer frightened.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank you.
And 9 with the d10s.
So a total of 17. How do you want to do this? Explain the sea bitch's fucking demise. She is deed.
Archery cuts all over the place.
Flurry of blows style. So Alessandros comes in and seeing that the hag is almost on her last legs, instead of having the dagger's blades out, switches them around so that she handles in dagger blade down forearms and just starts swiping backwards and forwards, up under the arm, down through the legs, hitting all major arteries. Finally, double daggers across the throat, both carotid arteries, opens them up and just sprays blood everywhere, and the hag just falls with a hideous sort of death rattle breath, slumps to the ground and drops dead. Now you still have a movement and a second attack, but you cannot move towards the man because you are frightened of him.
I'll just do my will save then, won't I?
Do your wisdom save? Wisdom save on that one, I think, if I believe correctly. No, charisma save. Sorry.
10, 11.
11. You fail. You're still frightened.
I'm working my way.
So you want to move away from him, or because you can't move closer?
No, I'll stay where I am.
Stay where you are. Okie dokie. So on that note. We're seeing the Neymar. It's your turn now. So
18 to hit.
18 to hit. That does hit.
And 11 damage.
11 damage. Again, you strike out at the priest with your great sword, striking him down. Takes 11 points of slashing damage. He's still looking pretty good. You're really surprised that he hasn't taken more damage before now, but he's still looking pretty good. Still got a few wounds, but he's not happy. And you're seeing him. He looks like he's about to raise a hand. You gonna do anything else?
I might grapple him.
Can you grapple him with a bonus action?
Shit.
I don't believe you can. That would cost you an action.
Nope. I'm going to stand here and grrr.
Okay. So, Fiela, you are next.
Okay. So my healing word's a bonus action, and
Yes.
Moonbeam's the second level. I can do both, right?
You can cast a cantrip and a first level or higher spell as an action or a bonus action. So you can't cast 2 spells at level 1 or higher. You have to be, one has to be a cantrip and the other can be a spell. So it doesn't matter which one it is, but you can't cast 2 level 1 spells or level 2. Like you can't cast level 2 and then cast level 1. You could cast 1 spell that takes an action or a bonus action at level 1 or higher, but then your next spell, if you want to cast another spell, has to be a cantrip.
All right, I'm gonna take a chance on Moonbeam.
Okay, so you want to cast
that guy.
Moonbeam on that guy. Roll to hit you, and it's a melee spell attack, so you have an advantage on this because Neymaris' proximity to the creature. So roll 2 d20s and take the highest.
So 12 plus 5 and 17. 17
That hits.
plus the bless, right?
If you don't need it, it hits.
I'm really, really wanting to do this.
Yeah, I know you really want to do it. It's a good spell too, so definitely. So roll your damage.
12.
12. Give me 1 second here.
And it says it's a con saving throw for half damage if it's successful.
There we go. So Constitution saving throw. Rolls a natural 18. And his Constitution is a +3. So yeah, he 21 on his Constitution saving throw. So I believe that he saves on that. So what happens if he saves? So is it half damage?
Yeah, on a successful, yeah. So
Yeah.
half damage.
So roll your damage. Actually, he has to roll a disadvantage on that, so I'll roll again. And he fails, so it's full damage.
2d10. Okay, so 9.
9 points of radiant damage.
Yeah.
And his form also drops. He's still been in this man's form. Has not been as pretty as he once was, but his form now drops, and you can see that his hands are indeed sort of almost tentacle-like, and he's got almost gills, and he's got gills instead of ears, and almost a more of a fish face than human. With that movement, as soon as the radiant damage, his outer form just melts away, revealing his true form. And he was 9 radiant damage.
Yeah.
That, I believe. Yep. So, and that hurt him. He cried out in agony. That again, that gurgling sort of watery voice, very deep, not as loud as the cry that he made earlier, but he is hurt and he does not like you. He is focused solely on you right now.
Oh no.
And it is now his turn. He is not happy with you. He reaches out towards you and just charges at you.
I get an attack of opportunity.
Both you and Het do.
Yeah.
So Neymaris, roll yours first. So it's just a D20 plus your attack.
17.
That hits. And just standard damage, so just your regular damage with your rage damage as well, because you're raging.
Seven.
7? 7 or 17?
7.
7, right. So he takes 7 points of damage as he comes running past you, charging towards Fiala. Het, you get an attack of opportunity as well, melee attack.
Hit quickly strikes but misses with a 6.
and he does miss with his eggs. As sort of whips past you, Namaris, you catch him as he goes past, and he goes, "Ugh!" Keeps charging forward and sort of dodges you head as he sort of comes in within melee combat of both you and Fiala, and then strikes out at Fiala again with an attack. Ooh, he might miss with this one. Rolls a 13. Does that hit or miss, Fiala?
Hit.
It hits. Oh crap! This is not going to be good for you.
Not again.
Pretty much.
13's my armor class, so yeah, no.
Yeah, I think you're unconscious again. You only had 8. You only had 8 hit points, didn't you? So you did. Yeah, you're unconscious. Again, he comes streaking forward and reaches out a hand and just literally almost like he half by pushed Fiala and sort of hit her in the chest, and she drops instantly to the ground again with that thunderous noise. And it kind of takes you by surprise. Hit that the noise so close is kind of deafening. And now it is your turn. Hit Ellie, you're up after that.
Hit sees Fiala hit the deck as this, and now he's in his normal form already.
He is in his normal. He's a fish-looking dude. Fish-looking priest. Yep.
He just pulls the loot forward and jams it as close as he can, touching the priest fish, and says, "Holy diver, you've been down too long in the midnight sea." And he casts inflict wounds at 2nd level.
Ooh, okay.
You need to make. No, you don't. He needs to test throw. Oh, it's good.
Inflict wounds at 2nd level. Nice.
Yeah, that's 19 to hit.
19 hits. That is a definite hit.
That's 4d10 damage.
Ooh, this will be good. Anything over a 15, bud. Anything over a 15, describe as demise.
I can only hope. Right. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25.
Explain his demise, young Het.
So the loot has to touch him, and as he...
Oh no, you cut out.
The the loot blasts a massive wave of sound energy, and you just see a big hole bore through him as I imagine the fishman's scales all peel away and his guts all flow out onto the ground.
Imagine someone standing in front of a massive speaker, and it's just all that energy just bursting through his body, and literally actually imagine the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. The guy's getting all their skin melted away and peeled away as the Ark releases all its energy. Same thing, but with a loot. Just melts his face off and his sort of skull and everything, and it's like he's standing there going, "Ah!" And it completely obliterates him, and he just falls in a clump on the ground.
And as a bonus action, I pull out my health potion ready to put in Fiala's mouth once we get out of combat.
That's the initiative over, so we'll call that this. Fiala, you're now roll your 2d4 plus 2 for the health potion, but you are now conscious.
She gets 9 points of healing.
So you're now back to 9 hit points and conscious.
Yay.
Holy crap, team.
And that is the initiative over, team.
Anybody feel like fishing chat?
Oh, well done, team. Well done.
I think the DM tried to kill us this round.
No, it was perfect.
I could have. There was 2 entities that still could have made it onto the board, and they didn't. So you're lucky.
Secrets, don't give away secrets.
I had a whole lot more planned for that, but no, you did well. So as you guys fell your enemies, you all sort of drop and almost exhausted. Fiala, this is the hardest battle you've ever fought since being a part of the guild, and you've been dropped to unconsciousness twice. You're sort of sitting there confused but grateful that obviously of your companions that have helped keep you alive, especially Het, who's now revived you twice.
I owed her one.
You're almost in awe of Neymaris and Alessandros with their melee skills, with watching them sort of just rush into battle without sort of any thought of themselves. So you've not really seen this. Your party was a little bit different when they fought. They were a little bit more strategic, and I'd say not. You wouldn't consider them as courageous as these guys. They seem to take their time and plan a little bit more, and were a little bit hesitant about sort of just rushing into battle and just dealing with things.
Did they have anything on their bodies?
Ah, yes, loot. We can do some looting. Who's going to be looking for loots?
I'll check the woman.
You're going to loot the woman? Roll an investigation check for me.
We
Do
would
a
be.
what now to the who?
I got 15.
A 15. On her body, you find 80 gold pieces. You find a ceramic miniature of a tree worth around 25 gold pieces. There is a spell scroll. You probably can't read, or you probably could read it. Actually, you might even know what it is. I'd roll an intelligence check to see if you know what the spell scroll is.
I don't think I do, at an 8.
An 8?
Even better, a 5.
Yeah, you're not 100% sure what it is. And 4 potions of healing. And who was searching the man?
Yeah, I will.
Roll investigation for the man.
Oh, look. He's all bloody.
What did you get?
Oh, God.
I rolled a 5. Investigation, yeah. I don't know the
Okay, what you find with your investigation, you sort of quickly quick pat him down, and you find a moss agate, which is a gemstone. It's worth about 10 gold pieces, and a couple of pieces of obsidian, also worth about 10 gold pieces. That's about it with your very very brief look through his pockets.
I give Het the scroll, and I look at Fiona,
Thank you.
and I give her the ceramic mini because I think she looks kind of tree-like. Or tree-loving like. Sorry. You look like you like trees, love. Here, have a tree. Whoever's got the who's got the party?
The party bag, that would be Alessandros.
Ali, here, have the gold, and I'll give us all a healing potion each.
Okay, so that'd
Thank
be
you.
so add 80 gold, yes, and add a potion of healing, just a standard 2d4 plus 2 healing potion to all your inventories.
Het will look at the scroll. What does he see?
Can you still take 20 to search checks? Not entirely sure what you mean, Mr. Pegger. You can always roll a d20 for a search. So basically, it's just an investigation, and what they find is based on a difficulty class. So I set a DC, if depending on, is a DC 10, 15, 18, 20, and higher. The higher the DC, the more difficult it is to find. From 3rd edition, yeah, we're using everything from 5e, so everything on that respect has changed from what I remember. So any investigation rolls or things like that now is done with a d20 and based on a difficulty class set down by the DM. So if they, like for example, Alessandros rolled a shitty roll, hence why she only found a few small trinkets, essentially basically saying she was distracted or just wasn't searching good enough and only found a few small things. If she'd rolled higher, then she would have found more. So Het, do you want to read the scroll to try and determine what it is?
Yes, correct. That would be nice.
Roll an intelligence check for me, sir.
And that's my top number. I am so intelligent.
That doesn't sound good.
That is a 7.
A 7. Well, you're not very intelligent today. You recognise the spell, but you know it is a spell. You know it's
I'll
probably.
tell you what, I'll go you one better. I'll cast Detect Magic as a ritual for 10 minutes. I'll sit here and study it.
With that, you find out that it is a scroll of purify water and food.
Aha. Is it in Beyond, or is it something you created?
I think it should be in D&D Beyond. And the
Sweet.
spell is anyway. So it basically acts as the spell.
Good as gold, thank you.
Yeah, purify food and drink, it's called.
I shall store that away.
I'm now gonna go and knock on
so
Walter's door.
So it's a transmutation spell. All non-magical food and drink within 5-foot sphere centered on one point of your choice within range is purified and rendered free of poison and disease.
Cool.
You're gonna try and knock on.
I'm
you're
just
gonna
go and
you're gonna knock on
the
Walter's
door.
door.
It's alright. It's safe now, friend. You can come out.
I ain't coming out. Not till the sun comes up. Leave me alone.
Are you a man or a mouse?
Mouse.
I didn't actually say it loud enough for him to hear.
Walter, I find it funny that you can hold a barbarian, but you can't fight a girl. What a pansy.
Oh, God.
He says nothing.
That's right. Say nothing. We've fixed your problem. We're gonna take the bodies back to
Not
the
my
guild
problem.
house.
It's the city's problem.
Burners
But at least I can go back to work tomorrow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So what are you guys going to do?
Go back to the guild house.
You're going to leave the bodies
Can
where
we
they
take
are? Or
the
you're gonna,
corpses with us?
You can take. You can take
I'll
them
let
with
the
you,
guard-
or you
I'll
can.
let
Yeah.
the guard.
Shall I throw one over my shoulder?
He's not a whole lot left of the priest. He got pretty well melted down. But yeah, the hag.
Excellent.
You could make a strength check for me, but you should be able to with it.
19.
Yeah. Namaris just wanders on over and picks up the hag, just slings her over its shoulder. But you guys can inform the city guard as you head back towards the guild house that what has happened, what has transpired.
I ask Ellie to make an illusion of the priest to show what it'd look like if we can't drag that one.
You can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, so you find a city guardsman and he's sort of half asleep on his post. That as you're heading out of the dock through the Azure Bridge back to the guild house, and you sort of let him know what's happening. You say, "Oh, all right. Where am I? Where can I find this corpse? I notice you. Are you carrying a dead body? That's disgusting." But okay, never mind. And he gets a little bit distracted by the dripping dead body over Namaris' shoulder.
I just look at him and have you never seen a dead body, my friend?
Of course, but not one that's dripping black blood. I mean, come on. That's just weird. Anywho, body, docks, oh yeah, great. We'll sort it out. Where are you taking that one, if you don't mind me asking?
I thought we might take it back and see what it is. See if anybody can identify it.
Okay. It's up to you. And he sort of just rushes. He sort of takes off. His buddy's at the gate there, stays there. He takes off, heading towards the barracks to inform people that there's dead things. And then things need to be cleaned up. So you guys make your way back to the guild hall. As you get back to the guild hall, it is brightly lit. As you go through the main doors, Magladar is actually sitting there in the guild hall. He's sitting down. He's got a mug of ale and sort of reading a book. And as you come in, he sort of heads up and sort of sees you all coming in. What do you guys do? Who's coming in first?
I'm hanging outside with this drippy body thing.
Head's gonna just push the doors open like he's walked into a saloon, double doors, boom, and say, Magladar! We have your
Oh,
dead creatures.
you're back. Dead creatures, you say? Oh well.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's good news. But that's awesome. Do you know what were they? What happened?
Well, we're
tell
hoping
me.
you
Tell
can
me.
tell us. Look at this thing on his shoulders. We don't know what this. We don't know what they are.
So,
But
have
they
you
were
still got it
horrible
on your
and
shoulder,
bloody.
Namaris? Or have you dropped it?
Pardon?
Have you still got on?
I've still got it.
You still got it. So he walks out and says, "Oh, bring it inside and chuck it on the table. We'll have a look. I'm actually kind of interested to find out what has happened."
So I take
There's
it in
another
and chuck it
one
on the
that's-
table.
There's another one the guards are gonna get. There's a holy guy dives in the ocean and stuff like a fishman, like you said.
Oh, an actual fishman. Oh, I've got to check him out too. I'll definitely catch up with the guard later and that.
If he doesn't have a name, I'm gonna call him a holy diver.
Okay. So what we're going to do, guys, we're going to stop it there. We are at 10:30. We are going to call it there. We'll pick up the show next time in 2 weeks' time from this point with Magladar and the group examining the corpse of the mysterious woman. Thank you so much for hanging out with us again tonight. It's been an awesome show. Thank you to the players. You guys have been amazing. It's been an awesome night. Thank you for making me think on the spot, Namaris, with your bloody omelets and shit. And your eggs and your omelets. An awesome battle, guys. Well fought. Fiala falling unconscious a couple of times, but teamwork prevailed. So, as I said, 2 weeks' time, we'll be back again on the same channel, same time, with a new player, Mr. Pecker, who will be joining us with a new character and a new adventure. So, thank you very much, everyone in the chat, for hanging out with us tonight. Really appreciate it. If you've got any quick questions for the players before we leave, feel free. Briefly, while we're still here, I know some of our players have to get up and go to work in the morning. Some of us obviously do not, but
Some of us have kids.
we have chitlins and things to deal with. Mr. Orbasm in the chat is who plays Het. And obviously Trashman, Alessandros, Nutty Tart, who plays Neymaris, and myself as the Dungeon Master Storyteller. Thanks, guys. You've been amazing. Players, you guys did so well tonight. It was awesome. Had a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
We will shut that down.
I'm happy to get a kill, man. Jeez, I had no dice all night.
I know it was just,
Save those.
but you had your loot out over Fiala, so you're doing
You
good.
had your loot out.
I
About
can hear
that
them, guys.
loot.
I can hear.
She was
Yeah,
losing
laughing
her
away.
shit in the background, man. It was,
Yeah.
it was like, what the hell?
Bloody childish woman. But hey, it's all good.
We all
22 going
know.
on
We
3.
all know if that was bloody your wife, she would have been doing
Yeah, I
exactly
know.
the same
She'd
thing.
have lost it.
Should have been worse. Yeah.
But yes, it was a
Yeah,
great
that's
show
good.
tonight, guys. Like I said, this show was a bit impromptu to make way and make room to bring Mr. Pecker's character in next show. So it was something that I hadn't actually planned until today. So it was sort of quickly thrown together, but it all worked out pretty well. People got to use abilities they probably haven't used before. Yanti finally got to use Moonbeam. She's been talking about it a couple of days, and she tried so many times. Finally got it out there. And it did well. You did very well.
Now my brain is jelly.
Yes, so we will pick up the show in 2 weeks' time with the group at the Guild House, identifying corpses, and then maybe moving on to their actual destination of Redfield. Hence the title, Redfield's Curse. So Redfield's Curse Part 2 will be the next show. Until then, everyone, take care. We appreciate everyone for stopping by, and
Right.
awesome fun. And we will see you guys on Monday, tomorrow night, for some gaming. Come hang out, play some games. I don't know what we're playing yet, but come out and play some games with us. Ladies, guys. Thank you.
See ya.
Hold it tight, trace the memory in every line. Does anyone feel know you're feeling what I feel. Oh, and every word is a piece of me. Every single note, every breath I breathe is a cry out. Can you hear me? Let me know.